Yo, what's up? Original OC with you on the Original OC channel. It is Thursday, September 12th. It's 3:30 world time, which is 3:30 American time, which is also 3:30 Eastern time. We're going to be talking about the Patek Philippe Cubitus, guys. The Cubitus. The details are trickling out. We have the invitation. We have the invitation to the launch party. Will we be sharing it with you? Time will tell. Probably not. Let's be honest. We're not going to share it. We're not going to share it publicly. We do not want to reveal our sources, but we do have it. And we will be talking about the Cubitus, everything you could possibly know about the Cubitus and more today on the Original OC channel. Where is Logan Hall? Yes, that is a really, really good question. Where could he be? Everyone knows that as soon as the show goes live, he's expected to be in the chat immediately. Drop everything and be here. He's slacking. Guys, as you enter in the room, please drop in a comment in the chat, so I can say hi to you. Like I can say hi to Andui, who says, "Howdy, y'all." That's his customary greeting to the watch community. Howdy, y'all. Well, howdy, Andui. It is 9:30 p.m. Deutschland time, which is Germany time. By the way, the Cubitus party, the Cubitus launch, is going to be in Munich. In English, that means Munich. But in German, that means, in German, it's München. Is it München or Munchen? I got the munchins. I want to be munching on some chips right now. Hey, BW, representing Jacksonville, Florida, is in the house. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be talking Cubitus. Holy crap, 16 people watch. Holy shit, there's 20 people watching? Guys, if you're on the mobile device, use your index finger, or any finger for that matter, to tap the thumbs up button. Do that right now. If you're on the desktop, use your squeaky, noisy, clickety mouse to click on the upvote button. We should be at least 10 likes. At least 10 likes. Hey, McAllen Drinker is in the chat. What's up, McAllen? Greetings from the middle of the New Jersey Turnpike today. Oh, man. Are you a construction worker? Are you doing like road repair? I know you mentioned you were at exit 13 the other day. Got Chili Badger in the chat. Chili Badger. Good day to everyone. Hey, hello, OC. That's right. Chili Badger, one of the moderators on the Tea and Tickers channel. We helped out the Tea and Tickers channel by sending 3 of our 72 viewers over to the Ticker show, which was incredible for them. They were able to get up to 19 viewers at one point. Shout out to Tickers. He had a great show. I didn't watch it, but I'm going to assume it was great. Listen, I'm too busy. I was too busy to watch, let's be honest. But OC is very busy, but I'm trying to be polite. OC did the diplomatic thing and encouraged everybody to go on over to Ticker Show a couple days ago. Hope you guys did, and hope you enjoyed it. Hey, we've got Parm in the chat, also known as Night Wrist Watchman. Evening OC. It's afternoon here. It's afternoon. It's the middle of the day. It's dang near, it's in the mid 80s Fahrenheit. It's beautiful. Beautiful. We've got Goldfinger in the chat. We've got Diego M. Getting huge has its disadvantages. Yeah, he's been talking to a couple of people who've gotten huge lately, and they want snacks so bad. Yep. Pretty soon, Diego will get to the point. After probably six or 7 months, he'll get borderline huge, and he'll know what it's like too to have those same disadvantages. Got John Galt in the chat. That's Night Wristwatchman's website, grinder.com/Night Wristwatchman. Thank you. John Galt in the chat. Good. I could use a midday watch stream. Hey, you're going to get that. You're not going to get a good quality stream. You're going to get an OC level quality stream. But you know what? You can't complain because nobody else is streaming right now. So it's a monopoly. I have a monopoly on watch YouTube live streams right now. So you will watch and listen to every goddamn word I say. Hey, we got Jen G in the chat. So is the Cubitus a cube or a circle? We might never know. Actually, we'll know soon enough because it's being launched on the 17th of October in Munich, Deutschland. In English, that's Munich, Germany, and we have the invitation. Part of the invitation I published. It's the thumbnail for this show, and if you know German, you can translate it. First person who knows German who can translate the thumbnail, which is a message from Terry Stern. Terry Stern. Drop it in the chat. You'll receive a prize. Actually not, but you'll still be the first, and you can help everybody understand what was written on that thumbnail. Double D is in the chat. Double D, my Grinder account was shut down. What does solicitation mean? It's okay because we got 26 people watching on YouTube. Double D, I see you're watching on Grinder. So I think your account, maybe that's somebody else on Grinder. And we've got 3 watching on Tinder. What's up? We got Wristwatchholic Alex in Los Angeles. Beautiful Los Angeles. I heard there was not a hurricane. There was an earthquake in Los Angeles this morning. I think it was a 5.2. Alex, drop us some details in the chat. We want to know what's going on. What is going on in Los Angeles? Tell us what's going on with the earthquake. And we've got Whole Milk in the Munich in October. The Cubitus is it's right for Oktoberfest. The Cubitus is a beer drinking watch. Hey, we have someone who's in Germany right now who's been tasked with the effort of crashing the Cubitus party, which from what I understand will be extremely difficult. It's in a very remote location under heavy guard and heavy security. But our correspondent on the ground in Germany is SE, and it's my pleasure to welcome SE to the panel now.
Hey, OC. I hope the audio is working because the AirPods pods won't do their work.
It's not only perfect, it's crystal clear. I'm just going to bump up your audio just a tad so everybody can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, perfect. All right, perfect.
Tell me, have you been hearing any rumblings about this? Is right in your backyard in Munich?
Yes, it actually is. It's not in the center of Munich, so it's a little bit further out, but it's still in Munich, obviously. And yeah, it's a good pick. Can talk about it later. Why? And I just have to say, it's so cool that you stream that early. So for the European crowd, it's very, very easy to join in that way. So
it's my pleasure. It turns out that when I'm poolside at on the OC patio, and it's the middle of the afternoon, and nobody's streaming, and there are a lot of people, not just in Europe but in the United States too, that get bored in the late afternoon. They want or they're working and they want to hear something in the background. Turns out to be good. I think we've been getting like 50, 60, 70 people watching these live streams in the middle of the day.
It is addictive, definitely.
So Gen G, by the way, apparently has typed in a phrase from the thumbnail into Google Translate, and it says, according to her, I wanted a watch with the sporty, fresh spirit of a convertible. And that is a quote. That's a quote from Terry Stern on the opening of the invitation to those who have been invited to go to the launch event in Munich on the 17th of October. You're a Patek Philippe. I'm not going to call you an enthusiast, but definitely you've done a lot of research on Patek Philippe.
You can call me an enthusiast. Definitely not an expert, but definitely an enthusiast. I bought pretty much every book that John Reardon had in his or has on his website in his bibliography, but only the highly collectible ones are very hard to get because they're actually auction level books. So you very rarely see them surface to the market. But the ones that are kind of accessible, they pop up every, let's say, year or two on eBay. I tend to shoot and also read and immerse myself in. So I think Patek is really there's nothing like Patek, basically. Of course, Rolex is a great brand as well. They're completely different animals, but Patek is great. Yes, and I think it's the attention that the Cubitus is getting now is very well deserved, because it's been like 25 years that Patek has launched a new model in the sports line, outside of the dress watch line. So yeah.
So here it is. We're not hopefully we're not doxing or outing anybody with this image, but it does say, can you read this in German for all of us?
It says, Patek Philippe. Ich wollte eine Uhr mit dem sportlich frischen Spirit eines Cabriolets. Thierry Stern, President Patek Philippe. And you have to try München correctly. So
okay.
Do it one more time.
München.
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 I dare anyone to come on the panel, like of the other, like Diego's in the chat, right? And everyone else, one of them has to get it right. It's not that hard, but
München.
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 Oh, almost. You'll get it after one day of Oktoberfest. A couple of beers, yeah, we'll have it.
I think you've established your credentials as a Patek Philippe enthusiast pretty solidly. I mean, I don't have any books. I doubt anybody in the chat has a commitment to learning and absorbing the history and the legacy of Patek Philippe like you do. So,
I would definitely disagree. I think certain people might not want to talk about it, but I'm sure there are more enthusiastic people that also have books as well. That's one part of it. That's why John Reardon, actually, the whole douchey part, if you want to call it that, has a lot of fans as well, and they tend to like print media over just the articles that it can get online, which are very nice as well. But it's always cool to have something that you can actually hold in your hands as well.
What do you make of the translation of this, which according to Gen G he wanted a watch. So Terry Stern is actually taking credit for the creative direction of the model, and he's saying, I wanted a watch with a sporty, fresh spirit of a convertible. What does he mean by convertible? Does it mean, is he talking about like being inspired by something automotive, or is he talking about something maybe more generally, like I wanted something that was very versatile and very flexible in terms of how it wears and how it functions? What do you read into that?
Well, obviously, we can just guess, and then he's talking in riddles. Even I think when we're talking about this right now, he knows that the info trickles out slowly, and he actually wants for us to. He's I'm sure he's not mad of us doing it. He actually wants for people to read certain things into it. I would definitely say there's some kind of an automotive like direction that he wants to bring it to. We don't know whether this whole cubitus, which means elbow, as you know, whether that means like just sticking out your elbow, enjoying free life, like um, a cabriolet has always been connected to the freedom because you have the sky on top of you. I don't know. It could also be a hint towards certain mechanical aspects. Maybe there's a lid. Maybe there's like a convertible hood.
Like a power operated canvas top over the crystal.
Yes, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Some kind of a. I mean, we have the officers' case backs, and that would be too boring. I mean, I think that's reserved for the dress watches. Either some design element that resembles a part of the car. That it has to be that. It has to be that if he writes it on the invitation card, and or something that has something to do with the functionality. So some movable part, maybe. I don't know. We don't really know. But
It's kind of hard to imagine how you would take the spirit of a convertible and put it into a watch. When you think of a convertible, it's all about taking the top off, right?
yes,
It's about removing the top and enjoying the sunshine. How do you take
absolutely.
the top off of a watch? Do you you
Well,
can't flip up the crystal, you can't expose the dial. Or maybe there is some kind of feature where maybe the dial is or the crystal is tinted or shaded and something happens, and when it's exposed to light, like transition lenses, all of a sudden becomes something different, or it transforms. I mean,
could be anything. I wouldn't even say it's unlikely that they're doing something completely outside of the box. But again, we could be completely off base here. I mean, on Reddit and everywhere else, everyone claims to have a special source or someone in Patek, and people are twisting all these different kinds of ideas, obviously. So again, let me say that beforehand. I don't claim that I know anything. It's just my personal guess, and I think um, since so many people that actually say they talk to someone in the know, and I think that they're not necessarily connected, those people, and many of them say it's going to be square design from like the 10th or the 20th of the 20th century. So before the Calatrava design basically established what we consider a watch nowadays, what a child draws. The 1921 from Vacheron, for example, has a squarish design, the Santos, and so on. I think they're going to go that route, and even though no one really knows, and it could be fake, the one that you showed a couple of streams ago could really be it, and you could fit that into a tonneau shape just as well, for example. So maybe they even go into some kind of a like entry level, so to speak, challenge of a Richard Mille design. Nobody really knows. So I would be very surprised if this idea of the cabriolet would just hint to freedom in general, like experiencing wind in the air, being young, driving into the sunset, and not really have a certain connection to design or functionality or both, which I would actually guess.
so okay, that's a fair point. To me, I do tend to think that maybe they're hinting at something with respect to the functionality, that it's changing from one form to another, and that could be something related to the crystal or or the bezel, or I'm not sure what, but We'll see.
Yeah.
I just want to say hi to real quick to everyone who's typed in a comment in the chat. Billy Jeans is in the chat. What's up, Billy Jeans? Dr. Bob's Nightmare, encouraging everybody to upvote the live stream. There's over 40 people watching. We should be at least 25 upvotes, guys. So get to clicking on there. Logan Hall is finally in the chat. Took him long enough. Jeez. John D is in the chat. Good afternoon to everyone. Hope you're enjoying all the intrigue in the upcoming Patek Philippe release. Thank you. We got Mal in the chat. Chili Badger, maybe it's a quick change bezel. Possibly. You never know. As good a guess as anything. We got Lolix in the chat also. We got Johnny O. Good afternoon. Lots of good people. So yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Certain patents that they issue, that they get surface obviously, and others obviously don't, because if it was something extremely off the hook, wouldn't it have surfaced before? I don't know. Maybe it's just the design. But on the other hand,
you're right. But even design sketches get submitted for trademarks and for functionality, for patents. So,
and also as far as normally they take hints from the past to integrate and to make the new thing a little bit more Patek-y, so to speak. And there have never actually, to my knowledge, there has never been a steel sports watch in square form. I mean, there are some, but they're really completely square, and they wouldn't fit the dial that you showed, because the dial that you showed is a little bit more rounded, and only dress watches were steel before, outside of course of the Nautilus that came in '76, and then the Aquanaut. So it should, I think it's a completely new design. And he even said that, I think. But it's definitely going to be below the Aquanaut as far as Terry's idea goes, where it should be placed in the whole lineup, which is very interesting because the Aquanaut is not that expensive retail wise.
Rohit in the chat says, in the past, Patek Philippe produced a model that was square called the Gondolo. It was they had a cabriolet version. I want to show you this and get your take on it. So this is a model from quite a ways ago, and it features a flip up top.
Yeah.
You would be shocked if they actually had a model with a completely hidden dial that you would flip up to reveal the dial underneath.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a sports watch, obviously, but and I would be really surprised if they did something like that. But on the other hand, I don't even think they can issue that they can launch anything that people would not be crazy about. The crazier, the more people would actually love it. Of course, there would be some who would be completely appalled, but that would just push it even more. So one thing that I really find kind of funny, that he says, we can't only produce $1 million watches. We have to produce $30,000 to $40,000 watch as well. We have young people that want to get it, but there's going to be such a craze, and of course he knows that it's going to go way over retail, which will create a huge demand again. So it's just we're just meant to believe that there's hope, and they will actually. The only thing that I have to do is to tell my AD that I'm so into Patek and so on. When in reality it's going to be a trophy piece for at least 10 years, and then who knows. So yeah, it could be that actually, but I doubt it. It's just not usable enough.
Let me show you a video rendering that was put together by Diego. Let me see here if I can show this. Let me try and open it in a new. Okay. All right, let's see here. So this is what Diego did here was he took the image that was supposedly of a Cubitus dial. It was the square dial with the arched areas to hold it in the movement. And then based on the window size, extrapolated what the size of the case is likely to be by using the dial that's in the Nautilus. Okay, this is actually pretty ingenious. So if you start here at the beginning, I'll just play it through here. So it's going back and forth between. You see that? There's the Nautilus. There's the Nautilus dial, and you can see the size of the window, and then the same size of the window here, and then you can see what the size of the dial has to be relative to the case, which means it's going to be bigger. It's going to be bigger than a Nautilus.
Yes, I wouldn't doubt. I mean, the whole thing, as we all know, is completely marketed towards younger people, towards a more hip, modern people that don't want to have the classical grandpa dress watch. I actually talked to someone who is invited, and they said that they designed the invitation or the people that were targeted by the whole event this time completely differently. It was not necessary to have a lot of heavy pieces. It was not necessary to have a lot of pieces. It was just that you're living the brand, that you're breathing like what the brand stands for. And obviously you had to show that enthusiasm by having bought a couple of pieces, but not necessarily the higher complicated ones. And the dress code on the invitation is also urban chic, which means if you look that up on Google, you see people dressed in very, very casual gear, obviously also elegant, but also very out there and fashionable. And it's not going to be a very stuffy event. Also, the venue itself is used for club events, theater. It's a cultural gathering place that has just been renovated and opened in this year. So it's a perfect pick for a lot younger crowd. And if the watch actually is bigger, let's say 42 millimeters or something, I think they won't mind, because they also like it used to be a trend. And who's to say the trend only goes back to 36 millimeters? I think there's a certain range that people can wear. And when you're younger, you might want to have a sporty piece. It's going to be a sporty piece after all. So why not?
Yeah, I think unfortunately a lot of the information that's out there is based on people are looking at posts on Reddit, and then they're repeating the posts on Reddit, and then they're creating articles about it. So like Boston Collector, I do see your note there about the article. That was an article it's all based on stuff that's posted on Reddit and may or may not be true. So
in this case, it's directly from an AD that actually explained why the person was invited. So okay. This AD knows the info that Patek actually gave to the ADs. Obviously, I don't have it directly, but indirectly can tell the explanation towards the person who was invited why they were, and therefore you can actually say it is directly from the source that they actually wanted to have a younger crowd. They obviously want to diversify their portfolio. Again, it seems kind of counterintuitive because they chopped the 5711 in order to not have a star. They even came up with this ad, not one star after it. They heavily pushed precious metal pieces. And if they come out with another steel sports watch that seems completely counterintuitive to what to what Thierry is like wants us to believe he wants to do. But basically, it's a zigzag. It's this push pull. It's constantly giving everyone something, and it creates interest, and it works. So Patek has a huge. That's the reason why I'm so all for that brand in comparison to Vacheron Constantin and Audemars Piguet, for example. I don't want to bash any other brands. They're also very cool for what they are, but they have a far more limited offering. You could say, of course, there are far more Royal Oaks out there, different variations, but it's yes. I don't want to talk about Audemars Piguet too much, but it's a different kind of.
Screw them.
No, don't screw them. I mean, there are people who actually like to have those different variants, which is it's perfectly valid to cater to that kind of market. But Patek really has huge offering, and I think they don't really have a problem marketing their complete high pieces like the Grandmaster Chime. Whoever gets that piece and sells it is blacklisted. It's an application piece. People will see it as an honor to get that watch. You actually have to work your way up to get that watch, so that they're not having a problem marketing that $1 million watch, or 6 million in that case, or 6.5. And they also don't have a problem marketing their or getting rid of at retail level, getting rid of their so-called entry level stuff, because people buy it in order to work their way up. The only problem that they have is in the mid range. But due to the fact that, let's say, since they came out with a new production building in 2019, they launched the grandfather of the AutoZone, like the 6007A. And I think from that point on, they started to gradually merge sports and dress, and made it a lot more interesting. But what they're going to come out with right now seems to be another offering that's completely sports, that's completely more affordable, so to speak, and it will go way over retail. So it will. It's a perfect addition to their lineup.
Very, very risky what they are doing, but you have to evolve and you have to reinvent yourself, and that's what Terry Stern wanted to do. Well, I want to thank Diego again for putting this together. One thing that he notes in the chat, and it is very, very interesting, is that the dial design, all the way down to the location of the indices on this square dial, matches the current Nautilus pretty much exactly. So if you just if I just go back to the beginning here, you can see that not only does the size of the window match, but the actual angle, location of the indices obviously matches, and the design of the dial just matches perfectly.
Yeah. This is the thing that makes me think it's not real, because those rumors that it would be angular or even square or rectangular were out there already. So if someone used AI to build it and used the Nautilus as a base, then it's clear that that would be the result, and it would be kind of a if you really want to come up with something completely new, it would be kind of a lame move to be that close to the Nautilus. Obviously, the bracelet would be different. The ears might not be there, for example. But even the dial layout, in my opinion, is very, very close. So
would
they really do it? Yeah, would they really do it? I don't know.
I agree. It is a conundrum. I do think this. I mean, your point makes a lot of sense. If you were to ask AI to kind of come up with a square or rectangular dial, then this is based on a green Nautilus. Is exactly what you would get.
Yeah.
So,
also the color.
Yeah, the color is just spot on. It's too much like a Nautilus. So
they would basically cut themselves in their own hand if they did it that way, because it's reserved for a very, very special piece in their lineup already.
What we have heard, the rumors are that it's likely to come in a steel, a two-tone, and a precious metal version, I believe. So there will be entry level will be for steel between 30 and 40,000, if the rumors are true, if Reddit is true, and obviously it'll go up from there. But
it's still very, very surprising, isn't it? Because it appears like if it really was that way, they would try and go against the Rolex market as a little bit as well, because they don't really have to do that. Yeah, I guess we're gonna find out.
It makes it a very, very expensive steel sports watch, that's for sure, to be between 30 and 40,000. I mean, people complain about Parmigiani, about Royal Oaks, about Laureatos, about Chopek Antarctiques being, in the 20s. And if you have something in the 30s and I hope they're working on. I hope that they're working on the quality of the bracelet, and I hope it brings some innovative features in terms. It's really all about the look, though. At the end of the day, you have to look at this thing and go, "Oh, that looks good. I like it," and all the other stuff is secondary.
It would be kind of interesting if they launched a sports model that nobody likes aesthetically, and people would still fawn over it because it's Patek. I mean, so many people say, it's like Rolex and Patek. They're all about the branding, and it's only because the name is on the dial. Yes, that's exactly it. I mean, it's like comparing Ferrari to another sports car. It might be cool. It might be performing more, but Ferrari is just Ferrari. So there's no wonder that Patek can actually do that. If they really launched it and it started at 30,000 for a steel 2-ton piece, of course people would pay it. They would pay far more because it would be a lot more on the secondary market, and not only for 1 year or 1.5, like the dress watch section. I'm absolutely sure about that.
But given this has been in development for at least 6 years, I think we saw hints where Terry Stern said that he wanted to develop a new watch going back to 2016, 2017. Would they ever, I mean, given the number of people that would have to be involved in reviewing and approving, is there a chance they would come out with an ugly watch? I mean, wouldn't there be someone who goes like, "Yo, like Terry, like I love you like a brother, buddy, but this is fucking ugly. Like, this design, toss out this sketch, we're going to go with this one instead." Or you think that he would overrule somebody and intentionally pick something that was not attractive? I mean, he's not going to do that.
Attraction always lies in the eye of the beholder, and it's an interesting question that you're raising, because he has a lot of say in the whole design process. Basically, he's the king of that empire. And has he created by now a crowd of people around him that know what he likes and I only present that to him, or also look at his lips? That's a good question. I don't know whether he could actually answer that. And again, aesthetics are very subjective. I mean, look at the pilot watches that have not been very popular and still aren't. Even the weekly calendar is a very controversial piece, even though it has a fan base. Some people don't like it at all, and it's very quirky for Patek. So I think he has a very huge influence. He really calls the shots there. So I think he could actually pass it by a lot of people that would never dare and say, "Mr. Stern, are you sure?" Especially because it really only comes to your subjective view. You cannot base it on facts. If you see your boss making a mistake and that's going to cost the company a lot of money, you might even reap the rewards for being honest. But in this case, it's just down to opinion. You would not challenge your boss, I think.
Right. I want to say hi to Ryan Singer, to MJ, Boston, America, Dr. Bob's Nightmare, everybody in the chat, RJ. Guys, we have over 50 people watching. Great audience. Let's get to 35 upvotes. That means that every single person watching, please tap or click on the thumbs up icon. Ryan Singer upvoted. Please follow in his footsteps. A lot of great conversation going on in the chat. Let's highlight a few comments here. From John D. Is Patek Philippe taking note of the younger demographic that Audemars Piguet has been chasing the last 5 to 7 years? Is Patek Philippe feeling the market space is ripe to take some share away from the one-trick pony Royal Oak? Or you think they're seeing what's going on in the market and saying, "Listen, why are we certainly there's space in the market for us to certainly target a younger demographic as well. We don't have to be all old and stodgy." What do you think?
Well, in my opinion, absolutely. Of course, they're tracking everything. If they take it into consideration for their own strategy, I don't know. But look at the métier d'art or let's pronounce it American métier d'arts. You know it. That's the high end part of Vacheron Constantin, and they came out with that, having the old handcrafts and displaying them in that model line. And Patek reacted to that. They only did it a lot better. They basically show, in my opinion, they showed Vacheron Constantin how to really do it. And now everyone, or most people, only know about the rare handcrafts line of Patek Philippe that they present every year. But it was Vacheron Constantin that came out with that idea. Basically, I would say it's definitely a reaction to that, and also like they said in one of the articles that Audemars Piguet was very popular among younger collectors. Of course, they want to rake in these people as well. So why not do it? Absolutely.
Boston Collector says Patek Philippe offers a range of watches, but not many variations. AP gives more unique models for their lines, 2 different philosophies, and AP is much more attractive to younger generations. I think all you need is a new model and some new marketing, and you can start to create a bifurcated brand image where it can continue to appeal to the old guard, to the collector community, hardcore collector community, the auction people, the massive enthusiasts from decades and decades ago, and then also have a new collection that starts to position the brand for a younger generation too. I don't think you have to necessarily have one or the other.
Absolutely not. And it's like a little bit like the difference between patriotism and nationalism. We in this watch world we like to compete also over opinion in a certain way. And if we kind of found our brand, we sometimes tend to, and I'm not excluding myself, tend to compare it to others and then say mine is better because of this and that. Patriotism is just loving your country, as everyone knows, and nationalism is to say I'm better because I'm in this that respect better than another country. So I'm not saying Audemars Piguet is inferior to Patek. It's just a completely different animal. I would say it's not necessary for Patek to introduce another model in order to become more interesting, because they are very interesting for even younger collectors as well. There are several arguments that you could bring forward. One is it's just a more renowned name in the watch, has been a more renowned name in the watch business for a much longer time. So there's a reason why Patek is more present in auctions, and of course a lot has been done for Audemars Piguet, and there are many different offerings. But I mean, Patek has the world time. Patek has the annual calendar. They invented the annual calendar. Patek has a track record of making a huge imprint into the watch market forever. When Audemars Piguet was just a little company, so it cannot be compared. And also for that's something that also young collectors realize. Even the name Patek Philippe holds more gravitas to it than Audemars Piguet. A lot of young business guys wear Royal Oaks, no question about it. But as is said very often in these streams, after you have 1 or 2 or 3, many are finished with it. But Patek has a lot more different things to offer, and I would actually doubt that only old guys are interested in it.
It does annoy me just a little bit, SE, that when people talk about the watch collecting journey or your progression as a watch collector, that they always say, oh, well, you're going to go from this to this to this to this, and you'll eventually end up at Patek Philippe. And those fuckers turned out to be true. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like, you go through, I don't know, is it peer pressure? Is it, it can't all be natural progression that when you get to the end of the rainbow that you end up with Patek Philippe? Is it, what are your thoughts on that? Like, no matter where you start out, is Patek Philippe the pinnacle of where you eventually end up?
Well, again, that's highly subjective, and there, if you ask different people, you all got different answers. But most of the people will actually say yes, and the reason is that Rolex is the absolute powerhouse. It's a complete animal of itself. Everyone knows it, as far as market share goes, as far as their offering in general goes, as far as mainstream recognition goes. And Patek Philippe, among those who know, has for the longest time been considered also the top of the Holy Trinity and of the haute joaillerie market in general. And I think for very, very good reasons. We can find many reasons for that. Like with Rolex, Patek Philippe has a certain name to it, and people tend to, the only people that don't like the brands and are the people that don't want to end up in that position. They don't want to go the easy route and say, like a guy who's smoking Cohibas, and he's never smoked another brand, but he says that's the best. So they don't want to be the dumb person that just walks in and says, so okay, let me see what's the best brand. Okay, I'll get that. They don't want to. They want to show their distinguished taste, and therefore they don't go for the obvious choice and they pick something else. For example, I have friends that don't necessarily like Patek and say, well, the finishing and also the heritage and the colorful name of Breguet is much more important than Patek. So they wouldn't touch Patek in order to show that they're even above. Just like someone who's saying Grand Seiko is more important, or all the content creators on YouTube always say, is it possible for this brand to challenge Rolex? They're just doing it for the algorithm, but also people and personally are doing that in order to show that they're different. But for me, that's not satisfying to be different, even though I know it's better, and then to constantly ping off that, because that's what they're doing. They're still saying, "Oh, I love Vacheron Constantin because I don't want to be the fool that goes into the mainstream of haute joaillerie and only wear Patek. Vacheron Constantin is for the people who really know and know." But again, that's also some kind of a I don't know. It's a special kind of thinking. Might be the case that someone's doing it, and if it works for them, perfect. But it's not me. If you look at it very well, I wouldn't say emotionless, but if you look at it from a grand perspective, I would say there are only two real bosses in this watch world, as far as sports watches go, or as far as like the recognition and entirely goes. Rolex is the king, and as far as the like the artsy, the real art pieces go, haute joaillerie goes, Patek has always been and will always be the pinnacle. What could change? There will never be a new Submariner. There will never be a new Calatrava. Who would actually challenge them, and with what? Because one thing that they could never replace, a new brand couldn't, and also the ones that are existing but are constantly in second and third and fourth place, what are they? What do they want to come out with in order to challenge what is always there? The history, the heritage can never be replaced. So yeah, my answer is no, there's nothing better.
Nice. Jen G, welcome to the panel.
Hi. I just wanted to pop in real quick and throw something out there. The thing that comes to mind when I read this, invitation is if you can pull up the Urwerk UR 105 CT. I'm thinking something to this extent. This is a kind of convertible case. Now, I'm not thinking like the wandering hour type concept, I'm thinking more of a mashup between this kind of case style where you can open up part of it and see like a larger part of the dial, but more of like a Vulcane min stop, which is like the old school parking meter style at the top. So instead of having a dive bezel that you would twist, that complication would be done by like a parking meter style situation at the top. So when it's closed, you would be able to see that. But when it's open, you would be able to see the whole face with, just a regular, design dial with maybe a day and a 3-hand complication or whatever,
Gotcha. So it's partially reveal.
Yeah. And then open it up to see the rest of it. But, sporty, convertible, you could dive with it, that kind of concept.
Similar to the gondola. Yep, gondola convertible, but way more modern and not so like when you think of the Reverso when it's flipped over to the other side. Just they also have is it the Cartier? I'm not sure it's the Rondo or the retrograde or whatever, jumping hour or whatever they call, where it's basically you just see a big metal block and just like a couple of windows. This at least is interesting that you can see a lot of it and then flip something up to reveal
the rest of the dial, because this would definitely be different than what they've put out there for sure. If they go in, if it's stainless steel, like I don't know exactly what the shape is going to look like, but try to incorporate it into a stainless steel cube-ish type body shape. I don't know.
Right. For those of you just joining us, we're talking about the Patek Philippe Cubitus. We have the invitation to the event. We actually have the full invitation, but we're not going to show it here. But we will show you this portion of it. And Jen G has transcribed it or translated it into English, and it says, "I wanted a watch with the sporty, fresh spirit of a convertible." Let's run through a few quick comments here. Boston Collector says Patek Philippe has a great name, but they're struggling to capture younger collectors and have pushed them away for the past 3 years. They do a really poor job with younger people into sports pieces. Hawkeye's in the chat. Hawkeye says Patek is less popular because they make the benchmark dress watch, which is out of favor. They can transition easily because of their reputation. And then John D says, might be a turning point for the perception of Patek Philippe. It might mean that they aren't as creative and they take the brainless route like AP in the offshore, just another Royal Oak, but better water resistance. So there we go. Hey, a super chat from MJ. Thank you for the first super chat of the show. $10 super chat. In my humble opinion, Patek Philippe has a barbell problem. The older, loyal buyers will be leaving this planet soon, and the younger demographic has been shunned to the point where their loyalty now may lie elsewhere. Good point, MJ. So nothing's too late. Patek Philippe has survived for decades and decades, centuries even.
Centuries.
Centuries, attracting older, loyal buyers. And those families, pass on the Patek Philippe legacy and passion to the next generation. But I understand MJ's point, and I think this is a concerted effort. When we see it, we'll know what they're going after. We've heard what they're going after, but when we see it, we'll know for sure. It'll be confirmed.
I just have
tell us a little.
Before we move on with the Cubitus, I just have to address what MJ and Boston said. Again, I like AP as well, and it's they have a good offering, but I think there's a certain misconception with this idea that the customer base will die out. It won't. Certain people will die, but others will get older and their tastes will evolve into what is there. Then the second thing is, I would be a little bit careful saying certain things without having the data, because Patek would never share what age group buys which kinds of watches. And then another aspect is, I mean, I don't think they're having a problem selling their 5712Rs or Aquanauts, for example, because Patek has 2 Royal Oaks and a lot of other things in their arsenal. So that is very appealing to the younger collectors as well. One of my favorite format is I think we can Spruket here as well, because what the heck, I mean, it's perpetual Patek by Watchbox, the former Watchbox, and now 1916, what Tommaso, and what's the other guy? I just forgot his name. What the talk that they do on Patek, and I think the people who are listening to these kinds of formats are of all age groups, and people are, as Boston says himself, young people are rich as well. So some buy AP, some buy Patek, some buy both. I don't think Patek is having a problem at all reaching the younger base, I mean.
Okay, there you go. Good opinion. Hawkeye says the whole point is that Patek is viewed as the grown-ups watch. Okay.
Well, take a 40-year-old guy with a rose gold Nautilus and on his boat. I don't know. I mean, they have a fuckboy and douche offerings. They just have everything, and that's what the AP fraction is so butthurt about, that they have a much more limited offering, in my opinion. But again, it's opinions. Let's not argue over it.
They got the Chads covered.
Yep. Boston Collector says, SE, in my observation, the problem does not lie on the Patek Philippe side. I think they want younger collectors. I think it's on the authorized dealer side, because they use the sports pieces as thank yous for buying jewelry. And do you see a disconnect between what Patek Philippe wants and how their authorized dealers are executing on the vision?
Mm-hmm. He's got a point there, because their distribution model is completely different after AP went to the AP house concept. I also know persons of, let's say, middle-aged, who are middle-aged, who get very nice pieces from AP houses, and they buy a lot. And obviously, you don't have to satisfy a retailer buying jewelry. So there is a difference, no question about it. But yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Without revealing the name of it, the venue where this this event is taking place. Tell us a little bit about the aesthetics of it, and why do you think they selected this venue?
Well, it's very large in German standards. We could actually also talk about the reason why they even chose Munich, but let's move that to later.
Start wherever you want. Start wherever you want. If you want to start with Munich, we can talk about why they chose Munich as a city.
Well, so the venue itself is used for even clubbing events, or for theaters, for different artists showing their pieces to the public, and it's a very alternative place, and it has the capacity. It is from a security perspective, in my opinion, it's not in the middle of Munich and in a very busy street where you basically only have a street and then the facade of houses, but it can be very well protected, and not only from burglary or something, but also from someone like me who did not happen to get an invitation, and then trying to getting an autograph from Terry Stern. It's very easy to make it what they want, an upscale exclusive evening event, And as I said before, that the dress code implies that it's not that it's not that old fartsy kind of event, but people are flown in. I've heard that as well, and I know that for a fact, are flown in by private jets from all different parts of Germany. I haven't found out whether it's only people from Germany. I highly doubt it. I think they're flying people from all over from all over the place, and certain people will obviously come themselves. But again, they're not targeting the people who normally go for the grand complications. They're going for people who are more into the easier stuff, so to speak. That's what I heard directly from the person that was invited, which means as Boston said before, I think they sense they have a certain problem. And obviously, there is more potential to rake in the younger audience as well. And this is absolutely clearly a move to actually get into that market as well, because it is, as I said, it's a very fashionable venue. It is the way to dress is very, very young. The people that were picked for that event are younger, and they actually want for that to create some kind of a, you call it trickle event, like you throw a stone into the water and then there's this motion. I think they want to make a splash here in the young and offer something to the younger audience. But on the other hand, I've also heard that or talked about that with a guy that was invited, that it's kind of counterintuitive to introduce something with a square case that is more quirky and might not meet younger people's aesthetic expectations. So it is very paradox, and it's very it's going to be a huge surprise.
SE is one of the people in the community that whose opinions I not only respect but admire, and he, along with many other people, kind of steered me in the Patek Philippe direction. But another person is Buckley, believe it or not, and Buckley's acquisition of a 5396 not only pushed me psychologically to get into Patek Philippe when it finally came time to pull the trigger, and I have the blue Buckley, which is the 5396. So welcome, Buckley. Hot takes on anything that you've heard so far?
I have to come clear about something. OC.
All right. Well, let's hear. If it's go ahead. If it's public information, please feel free to share.
No, it's not public information.
All right. Well, hold on. Then let me boost up your audio so everybody can hear. Hold on a second. All right. Do a mic check. Check.
So I've been wondering. I've had a question for about a month now that has made no sense to me, and SE just maybe clarified it. As far as the younger generation, I too have been invited to a Patek Philippe unveiling, and I've been wondering why I've been invited, because it makes no sense.
Do you want me to clarify that? Sorry.
No, you already have. If what you're saying is true, it makes sense why I would have been invited to something similar that's happening in New York City around the same time.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I have to apologize, Jen. I didn't say hello before, and now hey, Buckley. It's kind of hard to get those in between. So in my opinion, it is an honest tactic to try and get younger people in, because events are something to get people closer to the brand and also make people feel special as well. I mean, MIAD does that very often with me, and it feels almost as getting a watch. And you obviously it doesn't cost the brand a lot to invite the young person, but it intensifies the connection to a great extent. Because, for example, think of the think of the quote that Terry Stern gave. We can't only produce $1 million watches. We have a lot of people who are interested in watches, and they can only afford a watch for $30,000 to $40,000. That's a lot of money. That's what he said. But it's very foolish to believe that that's what he really thinks, because he wants people to spend more. If he doesn't want a customer who can only afford to buy one watch in his entire life and it's $30,000, but maybe yes, because he said in earlier interviews he doesn't need customers that just happen to want the Nautilus, and that's all. He wants customers that are customers for life and buy numerous pieces. So it feels kind of disingenuous to say we want to cater to someone who can only afford one, let's say, an annual calendar with a Patek Philippe stamp. But yes, maybe they really want that, because situations might change. You might win the lottery, might inherit something, tell someone, bring customers. They can afford to give that event and also give that watch to you, just for also boosting up their image as well. So they're winning on different levels.
That's what because I got this thing about a month ago, and I thought it was just one of those, hey, AD's having a party and they're being nice. 50 people, 100 people show up, cocktails, whatever. Then I was told that each sales rep is going to have 1 or 2 people, and then it's going to be a dinner. And I thought to myself, why the fuck would they invite me? Of all people. Why? It doesn't make any sense. And I've told a few people in our, less than a handful of people in our community know about it, and it's been kind of like a joke. What are you going to ask for? What are you going to do at this event? And I've, up until 15 minutes ago, I've been like, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm being invited. I'm not buying a $200,000 dress watch. I'm not, what the fuck? But if what you're saying is true, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know how many people around 30 have bought a Patek Philippe dress watch in the last year or two from this retailer. So
what also makes a lot of sense, Buckley, is that your sales associate was smart enough and had the foresight to basically say, okay, they were obviously briefed. Listen, something's coming down the pike later this year. It's going to be a sports watch targeted for younger buyers. So what did he do? Remember that hashtag Why Buckley? Right. He was smart enough to say, you know what? I need some Tiffany & Co. Patek Philippe customers that represent that demographic. So when they come to me and say, okay, who do you have? What have you done that represents the spirit and strategic direction of what we're trying to achieve? So here's someone. And so when everybody was asking why Buckley, there we go. We have the answer.
I mean, maybe we have the answer, but I've been kind of wondering. I have also known details about the Cubitus for a couple of months now that I'm not sure if we've talked about them. I mean, some of it's out there already, so we can. But I've been it's been like a meme to me. Like, why the fuck am I in this position? Why do I know this? Why am I being invited? Because if 100 people get invited, no problem. But you're telling me out of the sales reps, there's like 5 of them. There's only going to be 5 or 10 of us. That doesn't make any sense. I've never told you I'm going to buy $1 million worth of Tiffany jewelry. I haven't even asked for the next watch. What's the reasoning for this?
Well, in my opinion, it's pretty easy. You're talking about it at the moment. You're contributing to a different way Patek is seen in the public right at this moment, and they gain from that. They have different kinds of events for different kinds of collectors that they're trying to cater to different kinds of needs. So, for example, on a much more, let's say, simple level, that happens on the retail level as well. For example, when I'm invited, they try and look to give me what I'm interested in. So, for example, if I went into an AD and I wore suit and tie, wore my Calatrava and so on, and talked about high complications, I would never have gotten. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten the invitation to the Cubitus anyway, because I hadn't bought that many pieces before. But if you fall in a certain category, they're trying to cater to exactly that. And like Boston said rightly before, they haven't done that to the young people a lot. So they need to change their image in a certain way, and it's so cheap for them to do it, because all they have to do is invite you, ignite that interest. You're gonna fawn over your beautiful annual calendar, tell everybody how great it is, and how great Patek Philippe is, and they won with that.
But am I am I going to be allocated one? Most likely, no.
But what the other part of that is market research and market feedback. So when you've invited the target market to which you would like to appeal, and you have them there with the executives are going to be there with you in real time, and they're going to say, hey, what do you think? What do you think of the event? What do you think about the vibe? What do you think about the watch? And you're going to give your honest feedback. You say, you know what, it's this, it's that, or it's priced right, or it's priced wrong. And that's the exact kind of feedback that they want, because you are the market that they are trying to attract. So I think having you there, having people like you there, first-time buyers, maybe prospective buyers who are part of that market, is they're going to be perfectly poised to get the feedback that they want directly from the source, not filtered through ADs, not filtered through social media, but direct to the execs.
Patek has to be very careful doing that. For example, I mean, George Kern completely revamped Breitling, and he could do that. He was very successful doing it because the brand was suffering extremely before he came. AP released that ad that you showed, that commercial, and they can do that very openly because they're known to be liked among a younger buyer base as well. For example, if Patek Philippe went away from their conservative, traditional kind of marketing completely, and had let's call it a commercial like the one that AP just released, they would lose a lot of their traditional old money elite kind of aura that they've had, and that would be too much. It's a huge split that they have to try and do, and an event is something that happens under the exclusion of the public, and they would never allow an influencer to stream from there, obviously. And I'm pretty sure people have to give away their cell phones even. I will find out that's one thing that I will find out, whether I can get information before it even hits the public. On the other hand, I mean, they're gonna show it on their website anyways. But what I mean is they have to be very careful trying to rejuvenate themselves. You can't even say rejuvenate, because they've never been young, but they have to go about it very, very carefully, in my opinion.
So here's the thing with that is this what we're looking at on the screen? It's October 17th. Is this the actual unveiling, or is this more of like a launch party and it's going to be unveiled a few weeks prior? Because if it is a unveiling for the first time for the world to see, then none of what you're saying is true about me being invited, because my event is before that.
Well, it's only going to be unveiled in Munich on the 17th. I'm sure a certain section of journalists, of very well-known journalists that have been in the business for decades and have a name to lose, and are also indirectly threatened by an army of lawyers, will get certain images, so that like Revolution or something, that they can actually, or maybe even Hodinkee and so on, that they can write about it the next day. But the public will definitely get to know it on the 17th. So the entire event would not make any sense if it wasn't the case, if it had trickled out before. I I'm absolutely sure that the event that you're talking about has nothing to do with the one that is going to happen on the 17th, because they are not doing it in different places in the world. They're just doing it in Munich. That's some kind of a symbolic act, some kind of an appreciation. The CEO of Patek Germany is called Yannick Michaud. He's been working for Patek since 1998, doing a very great job. You know that there have been many watch exhibitions that started in Dubai in 2012, but the second grand exhibition that they made was in Munich to show their loyalty and their alliance with the German market. And that's the reason why they're actually they picked Munich and not Singapore or Tokyo or New York. It's a huge honor. I was also told, I don't know that 100%, but even if it's only 90%, you can guess that it's true that many of the different places all over the world had entered some kind of a competition, or let's say you had to actually apply to be the one country to host that event, and Munich obviously won. So yeah,
Interesting.
Guys, please click on the dollar bill icon next to the chat and see if you have a member milestone chat available. Those are the free chats that you have for becoming a member. Please take note of that and make sure to use them, because if you don't use them, they expire. Otto, formerly OC91, says, yo, just tuning in. We'll rewatch the earlier parts afterwards. Curious about this topic. Also, SE has the biggest biceps in the community. Yes, SE is very, very physically fit, a very attractive human specimen. Hashtag fact. Thank you, Otto. Dr. Bob's Nightmares in the chat.
Hashtag AI. I use it. Yeah.
Dr. Bob's Nightmare, super chat, maybe Audemars Piguet, though that Buckley was, I'm not sure if I understand. Dr. Bob, retype it in English, please. I don't quite understand your super chat. Everybody in the chat, please, everyone who has a star next to their name, make sure you click on the dollar bill icon next to the chat box and see if you have a free member milestone chat available. Please use it before you lose it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, lots of questions here. I don't know.
Okay, see, Patek, not AP. Okay, maybe Patek Philippe, though.
Well,
still makes no sense.
Nico. He's making a joke. Me and Nico.
Okay. Maybe Patek Philippe thought that Buckley was Nico. I thought this is the word there.
That's a completely different topic. I still have no fucking idea what they were trying to do with Nico on that video. To me, it's like, it's literally them giving everyone who buys APs and wants to buy an AP the middle finger. But we could talk about that on AP Day. This is Patek Philippe Day.
Today is Patek Philippe Day. Jen G, thank you for your member milestone chat. Member for 1 month, SE, educating all of us boneheads on Patek Philippe. Thank you, guys. Most of you guys should be members for 1 month now, so make sure you have the a nice use of your free chat, Kevin. Member for 1 month, free member chat.
So SE, do you know the insider info on the Cubitus? Like what it's like, have they told you anything about what it's going to
No. I tried my own AD and got a bloody nose because in the friendly way, just like they do it in that world, being very polite and understanding and friendly, but not letting anything out. So it was by coincidence that I actually got to talk to someone who actually had the invitation, and I pretty much shared everything that I know. That they're very, very good at keeping secrets, as you know, and I don't want to be seen as someone who's giving any information that is first true and second more than anyone else has known. I'm just sharing what I heard, but it's what I heard directly. So that person is definitely invited, has definitely talked with their AD about why, and the circumstances, so to speak. And I think that I thought that it was kind of interesting to know. What's also interesting, by the way, is that the next Grand Exhibition is in Milan. It's 2025, so it's coming to Europe again. So it's another reason to come to meet up and to come to Europe, because they do every one grand exhibition of the rare handcrafts every 2 years. I think they might also connect it, like hopefully date wise, to Watches and Wonders. So maybe that's a chance for us to meet up.
Okay.
Shout out to MJ, who's a member for a month. Bouclés is what's the IDC? Love it. What's IDC?
I don't know. We're having a lot of trouble with these member chats.
Guys, if you're going to type a member chat, type them in English and in with correct spelling so we can understand what you're saying. MJ, please retype your chat. Bouclés is the IDC. I have no idea what that means. Sean from Los Angeles is in the chat. He became a member. Thank you very much, Sean. We're going to see Sean. Well, some of us are going to see Sean. I know Boston Collector, MJ, and a whole bunch of us are going to see Sean in Los Angeles very, very soon. And looking forward to seeing him in New York if he's able to make it there as well. Good to see you in the chat. Boston Collector, member for a month. Will SE be the next James Bond? I wonder if he has... can you do an English accent, by the way? He certainly would be able to handle all of the stunts. Can you do it? Can you do a British accent?
When you do study English in Germany, you can pretty much pick between two standards, the British one and the general American. I prefer the whole castle over the whole castle, but yeah, no, I can't really. I spent some time in America. I spent some time in America to work on the language, and I always found it comes a lot more easy to the tongue. But I don't want to be. I don't want to offend anyone speaking British as well either, because it's kind of yeah. It has a very, very nice tone to it as well, but I feel more at home with the American.
But for those of you who don't know, SE is a teacher, so he's actually educating the youth of Germany, and I think the youth of Germany is in very good hands. By the way, I just want to mention that Sean became a member at the senior consultant level. Guys, we're engaged in a hard fought, and bitter campaign for YouTube supremacy. We need every single person to join in this campaign. Sean has joined as a senior consultant, which is not a volunteer level; it's a higher up level, and I want to send my appreciation to him for that. We need every single person to be a member of this campaign. So if you don't have a star next to your name, click on. I'll drop the link in the chat, and you can become a member today. Please don't hesitate.
Do that. Join definitely, and again, it's so cool that you're streaming earlier, because it makes it a lot easier for us Europeans to join. So I can only encourage everyone who's listening at the moment, from Germany, from wherever in Europe, or even in similar time zones, to do that as well. It's a lot of fun to talk about things. But on the other hand, it's 11 p.m. in Germany already, and have to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to hop off. But it was very interesting in my opinion. So thanks for the nice.
Thank you so much, SE, for jumping on. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. So do I. So
peace out.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Dr. Bob's Nightmares in the chat. No habla jibber jabber. Thank you for the super chat, Dr. Bob. And I also want to say that if you want to join the panel, I will drop. It's pinned at the top of the chat. If you want to join Buckley and Jen, G, and I, boom. Here's the link. So, yeah, it is a little bit, the timing of your event is a little bit different. It's a week before. It's a little bit before the launch of the Cubitus, which we assume it's going to be the launch of the Cubitus in Munich. but maybe it still would be an opportunity for Tiffany executives to get your feedback and to learn about your hopes and desires.
What I had originally heard, which I guess is not the case anymore, was the watch was releasing at the end of September. And then I was under the impression that this Munich thing, when I first heard about it, was going to be like a formal unveiling, like when the watches go on tour, and they go on tour and invite the top clients. I thought that's what it was going to be. But maybe not. Maybe it's October 17th. That's not what I was told, but could be. I mean, it's all, anything within 30 days is, I guess, accurate.
Yep. For those of you just joining, we have the invitation. We have the actual invitation to the Cubitus launch event on the 17th of October in Munich. We know the venue, and I want to thank Diego again for doing this mock-up, which is basically a pretty cool rendering, which is a transition between the current Nautilus and what was described as the prototype or leaked Cubitus style. As you can see here, everything lines up perfectly in terms of the dimensions or size of the dial. So, but skeptics might say that this is still a forgery. It's still a fake. We have no idea.
Probably.
The fact that go ahead, Jen.
Go ahead. I wonder if, when they bring you in here in like a week or so, Buckley, if they're gonna shoot you an offer to pre-order it, even though you haven't seen it,
I doubt
to get your name on a list.
No, I don't think that's what it is. I don't even know if what it is related.
Yeah.
SE's point of view was the first time I ever heard that, where it would make somewhat sense, but the dates don't align unless they launch the watch. If we wake up one day and 7 a.m. Instagram feeds show, new Patek Philippe in a week or two, then sure, could totally be that. But if they're not going to show the world an ounce of it until October 17th, then I have no idea what I'm going to.
You're going to a posh dinner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
I would kill to get invited to a dinner like that. Go ahead.
No, I mean, we know, well, it's sort of out there what the details of the Cubitus are actually going to be.
Well, I mean, what we have are rumors based on Reddit. You might have rumors or inside information that overlaps with that. Based on what we think we know, it's a square designed watch with possibly interchangeable straps, available in 3 types of metal: stainless steel, two-tone, steel and gold, and then a full precious metal. And could be priced within the $30,000 to $40,000 range. Could be a dive watch. I think other than that, do you have anything other than that you want to share?
No,
or?
No, I mean, that's pretty much everyone's saying the same thing. 3 metals, 3 straps, quick release straps. It's a hybrid between an Aquanaut and a Nautilus of some sort, somewhere between 40.5 and 42 millimeters. But no one knows, except for certain Patek Philippe employees. No one has seen it. No one knows what it actually looks like. But it sounds like it's going to be similar to an overseas with a Patek spin on it.
An overseas. Okay, well, overseas is a very attractive sports luxury watch that can go very much like a day-date as a sporty and dress watch at the same time.
Yeah, I think I don't think Vacheron is who pushed them. I think AP is probably who pushed them to start doing that. rubber straps on watches is super popular right now. So, they don't have anything other than the Aquanaut. And I feel like the Aquanaut, I want an Aquanaut, to be clear. I love the grenade. I would take the blue one. And, if the grenade's a 10 out of 10, the blue one's a 9.5 out of 10. So I would take either one. But it's a little old. It's been done a million times. There's nothing new about it. It's kind of stale.
Right. Let's take a look. I'll pull up the Patek Philippe Aquanaut lineup here.
It's interesting because I can't remember what his name is. He was in with TPG. He's not with him anymore.
Marco Niccolini. Grand
I
Caliber.
don't know if it's. Yeah, I think it's Marco. I'm not sure, but I think it might be. But he did something that I have not seen yet, which is he took his Submariner and put it on an Oyster Flex.
No, you're thinking of Watch Eric.
Oh, is that who it is? Is Watch Eric? Okay.
Yeah, he put it on Oyster Flex. Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, why hasn't Rolex done this? Like, it just makes sense. Like, if you can capture that part of the market, like, that's deadly. Like, that's a huge group of people.
They make so much more money by putting it on semi-precious metal.
Right.
But
I'm thinking, like, it's usually people's first Rolex is a sub. Like, it just makes sense. It's a go all.
I think it defeats their. I think that goes against the philosophy of getting your first Rolex. I don't believe a rubber strap watch can be a one and done. I think that's very short-sighted. I think people who think that are living in the last 5 years, not the last 50. They're not looking at history. So the idea that they put a sub on a rubber strap and then someone would come in and buy that, because they know the sub is a one and done. They know the Datejust is a one and done. Explorer 1, right? They know this.
Yeah.
The Oyster Flex is reserved for people that are going to collect and spend a lot of money with them. But I just can't see them. It'd be like Patek giving you an Aquanaut as a one and done, right? They would be admitting.
Okay.
I just can't see them doing it. It would be weird.
Uh,
Wouldn't you look at someone weird if their only watch was on a rubber strap?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I have a rubber strap, but that's for the summertime. Like I swap it out. Like I would never wear it year round.
It's like this is the way that I think about this. Is if you're gonna buy a one and done, and let's say, I don't know, 40 years from now, you hand it to the next generation. I'm sorry, but I don't think your offshore is going to be a good. I don't think that's a safe bet. I don't think an Aquanaut's a safe bet either. I don't think a Daytona Oyster Flex is a safe bet. But
no,
a Panda could work. A black sub could work. A Datejust could work. A Day could work.
Yeah.
Even a Pepsi, a GMT. Not all of them. I think a lefty would be stupid. But yeah, I don't think they want to do that. I think they make so much more money doing it the way they're doing. They sell more watches than, they sell 30 times more watches than AP. Right. They sell 15 times more watches than Patek.
I'm just thinking, but like that like that demographic, like that new buyer, that person that's gonna grab a piece that they're going to wear for a while before they get another one, but they worked really hard for that one. Or, they inherited some money, they can get into something like that. It's not like uber expensive. It's not a Daytona, but it's not, it's not a $2,000 watch either. It's $9,000 to $10,000. It's a chunk of money, and you how do you grab that contingent? Because we've talked about how odd it feels that AP has focused the way that they have with the product that they have, how it kind of feels off. Not completely, but it feels off how they executed it. And Patek really hasn't gone after that age group or that demographic in that way with any product.
So I'm gonna piss off. I always do this. I always do this, even though I'm a huge AP fan, but I have some weird fucking genetic trait where I just have to do it. I think Patek and AP have the same clients, same customers.
Yes and no.
I think that the difference is most Pateks, the average Patek is 60,000 and north, and for a long time the average AP was around 30 or less. The thing you have to remember too is with Patek, only 15 to 20% of their watches are in the Nautilus or Aquanaut family. If you flip it on AP, like 70%, 80%,
right,
Royal Oak family.
Right.
So it's cheaper, it's louder, it has its own identity, right? You know an AP across the room. You're not going to mistake it for anything else, just like you know a Panerai across the room.
Yeah.
But if you put a gun to the head of people that are seriously deep in this game like we are and have all the money in the world, I think 9 out of 10 of them, if they can get the call, they're going to get a call for one of these Patek sports pieces over a Royal Oak. Not every Royal Oak, not in every situation.
Right.
But if you said, I think the last 7 years, 8 years, if you said you can have a blue dial 5711, you could have a blue dial Royal Oak, majority of people are going to go with the 5711. Not everybody.
Right.
I would actually go with the AP. Personally.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's way different. If Patek comes down to that level, let's be honest. If Patek came down to that level and compromised, because they don't do any sort of sponsorships, they're not doing any of the shit AP's doing, right?
Yeah.
If they did come down to that level and they turned everything into some form of a sports watch, I mean, they would.
Yeah.
Short term, they would annihilate AP. Like it would be a joke. Short term, but long term,
They would probably bifurcate their clientele too much.
There's no guarantee that buying a watch on a rubber strap that is bigger is going to stay.
Right.
We don't know if it's going to stay, and Patek's been pretty good about not compromising. I think everyone who's pissed off with AP is mad mostly about the way they compromise. I mean,
yeah,
it's such a black and white area. There's no gray area. It's like you either are a Boston collector and you really appreciate that they made a Black Panther and a Spider-Man watch. And you're like, wow, look at they can do that. And instead of wearing a suit and tie to the dinner, they show up in a leather jacket and a t-shirt and say, fuck you. Okay, cool. You like that? Right?
Yeah.
But most people, I think, are like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you make a watch like that? You're not the Holy Trinity anymore. Like,
yeah.
I think there has to be standards. Like this new ad.
There are rules. This is not Nom.
And this whole thing about appealing to a younger generation, it's like, okay, you want to take your average customer that's 65 and turn them into like 45, 50?
Yeah.
All right. But nobody who's 25 is running out and buying APs with their own money. If they have the money to buy the AP, they got it from daddy. Let's be fucking clear.
So here's one thing that, and this is a very, very, very small contingent, but this is one thing that I'm looking at. So I watch timepiece trading stuff on Wednesday just to see, what's going on out there. Um, those guys are jokers. They're involved with Steve and all of them, and who knows what they're up to. But the one thing that I notice is they very rarely carry any Patek. It is
Yeah, because
mainly
AP in
AP.
Miami is huge. AP in Miami,
Right,
Miami's
right,
quality as fuck. Yeah, yeah.
right. So, we're talking, crypto bros, musicians, athletes, that kind of contingent, creators that have done really, really well. Um, they are going for the AP. To them, that is the pinnacle. It's not Patek. It's
Right, but
AP.
those people,
It's kind of like OC said. At first he didn't think that his quote unquote journey was going to end at Patek, but sure as shit, it did. It ended at Patek like you guys told him it would. Um, and they just haven't gotten there, but you got to understand, if that's where that age group is at that point in their life, and AP is recognized, they're not at Patek level yet. They haven't bought enough watches by that age to be in that place. So we've got a
what it is.
corner on that.
I don't think that's what it is. I just think it's an influence thing. AP is making their rounds around being around influencers because the company took the watches and put it in those people's hands.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot. So this is like a deeper conversation. I don't want
Hmm.
to. Those. I think a lot of what you're seeing from certain YouTube gray market dealers down in Miami is just money laundering.
I mean, it doesn't
So
surprise me. Like,
I don't
I mean,
know if
I'm
I
part of
would
the
look.
art world. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would look at it this.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's a fair assessment. I know what you're talking about, though.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, trying to get a good cross section from several different places to see, what is coming across all of those as a common denominator. What is that? For some reason, AP is the thing. You've got athletes that are running AP. You've got famous, celebrities running AP. It,
Yeah, but they all have
I don't
Patek.
know if it's
They
just
all have
placement,
Rolex.
or if it's actually the real deal that they do sell a shit ton of Royal Oaks.
Well, you gotta. Who are we talking about here? Because if you're going to talk about placement, John Mayer, Kevin
Right,
Hart, LeBron James, the Kardashian family, that's all AP placement.
right,
Um, Beyond that, well, Tom Brady now too. All the brands are fighting over Tom Brady. But beyond that, that's what AP does, though. That's why there's a Travis Scott and a John Mayer, and there'll probably
right.
be a fucking Khloe Kardashian next year. Is they're riding on what's hype. We don't
Yeah.
know where that ends. That's a new thing. I mean,
Well,
hype shit is not new, but the way that
right,
he is doing it is very new. Patek doesn't do that. They still have,
right.
like, the biggest influencers in the world still have full rose gold Nautiluses, just as much as they have AP.
Sure,
They don't
sure,
have
sure,
grand
sure.
consultation Pateks, though. I mean, that's like,
Right.
no, they don't have.
They're
I'll be
not there yet. There's very few that are
I
at
don't think
that
it's not
place.
that they're not there yet. I think watches on leather straps just aren't there right now. But my whole thing is,
Mm.
just because they're not here right now doesn't mean they won't be here in 5 years. Everyone assumes
Right.
what is going to be, and I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder. I'm not an AP owner, so let me throw this out to anybody that does have a Royal Oak, in any variation. Um, how do you feel about somebody that, let's say, buys the quote unquote entry level Royal Oak? A steel, blue face or whatever, non anniversary type situation. Um, Compared to somebody that has a Cactus Jack, or like Boston has the ceramic. do you think that dilutes the exclusivity of, say, a ceramic to the point where it's like, well, if somebody walks up and they're, 25, 30 years old and they've got a little bit of money and they bought a, $40,000, $50,000 Royal Oak, and they're like, oh yeah, I have one of those too. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, are you pissed that that model is so ubiquitous that it can hit so many different markets?
There's something to be said for that, certainly, but I'm at the entry level. I'm not one of those people that's buying and we were doing this the other day when we were going through the Vacheron Overseas, right? And the steel blue dial is 25,000 retail, and then you jump up to rose gold, and suddenly you're at 70,000, and then you add dual time and other stuff, and you're at 80, 90, $100,000. It's like it is a little ridiculous. It's like when you see maybe an entry level Mercedes or entry level BMW, and then for 50 or 60,000, and then you see a model that looks exactly like it, and it's 150,000. People who are spending a lot of money don't want to see a watch that looks like theirs at 1/3 the price.
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
how
do they feel about that?
That's
like they shot themselves in the foot.
Listen, you're bringing up a really good point, and I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm trying to not bait. I'm trying to be nice and not bait Boston Collector or Rose Paul, but no, fuck it. It's Thursday, so I guess I'll just do it.
Rose's here. He's biting. Jump in.
One of the things that if I cared, most of the people that are wearing APs, like if you watch that watch trading we were talking about, these are a bunch of assholes.
Oh yeah.
These are a bunch. I mean, these are like your average AP customer is wearing a Supreme t-shirt and has a crossbody Louis Vuitton. And like these are not people that care about AP. They just care about the image.
Yeah. Yeah.
So AP wants those customers. That's what they want, I guess. I don't know. People say, no, that's not what they want. Who the fuck knows what they want then? Because they don't want young people. They say they want young people, but they don't. They really don't. The worst thing the Holy Trinity brand could have is a 21-year-old walking around with all 21-year-olds walking around with their watch. Because the guys that are established in their 50s and 60s, they're going to show up with the same watch, and they're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? What am I doing here? Sell this garbage. That asshole has this? That's why you don't really see millionaires walking around with crossbody bags. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? What are we doing here?
Because, I mean, if it was me, and, I'm fucking Boston Collector rocking my white ceramic AP that, I basically had to promise a lung for so that I could get it, that I wouldn't sell it. And some kid comes up to me and he's got a steel blue face and he's like, hey man, we match. I'm like, fuck you, we match. The fuck we do. Like, that would make me upset. One, because that watch is way more than that blue face. And we are not the same. Like you said, you wear a crossbody, I don't.
Well, that's the whole thing, it's just the image of the people that are wearing these watches. They look like assholes.
Yeah.
Not all of them. You can't put a blanket statement on all of them. We're talking a majority here. Yeah. Right? Like if I have an eye for what's going on. I'm bad at a lot of things, but I notice shit. If I go up to the Upper East Side and I go grab a coffee at a cafe, I'm going to see an older guy who's got a ton of cash, and he's probably going to be in jeans and a t-shirt that aren't labeled, and he's going to look normal.
Yeah.
The only difference, the only reason why you would know that he's got a ton of money is his $200 haircut, probably some fucking skincare, right? And then
he's got great skin. Yeah.
You're going to notice a Jumbo, or you're going to see a Nautilus. You're going to see, a Daytona, something like that.
Yeah.
AP, like if you're wearing a rainbow AP, I can almost guarantee you're wearing an oversized Palm Angels t-shirt and your asshole. You probably have tattoos on your neck also.
You got chrome hearts all over your body.
Right. It's a little bit. It's got a little bit of Hublot going to it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love AP, and I fit in with that. I don't fit in with the older gentleman who's established. I fit in
Right.
with the assholes. I mean, that's ultimately where I wind up. That's where I wind up. I mean, I know where my road
Yeah.
is, but you know, it's just it's all fucking bullshit. It's all bullshit.
This to me, by the way, is a watch that punches way below its weight. You know, when you look at a Royal Oak, this is a stainless steel Royal Oak. Okay, it has a tourbillon. You know, tourbillon basically it's a hole in the dial where you can see part of the movement. Yeah, there's some mechanical piece in there that allows it to be slightly more accurate. We don't buy these things to keep time anyway, but this is probably over $100,000 for stainless steel watch. And people are going to look at this watch and they're going to look at my watch and they're going to say, you know what? Mine's better.
Yeah, they are. But when they hear the price, they're definitely going to say yours is better. But that's the people who are uninitiated, right?
Yeah.
I don't see how. This is an example of when Maisons do watches because they have to do them because they have to demonstrate their technical and engineering prowess. Oh, look, here's our version with a tourbillon. Here's our version with a sonnery or whatever. And yeah, that's fine, but they don't have the same punch. They don't have the same value as a $25,000 stainless steel piece. You know, that's just my opinion. There are other models that do, but this isn't one of them.
Yeah, it is touchy. I know I'm on your team with that because I try to look at it from the lens of timelessness and what are you actually getting for what you're paying and how hard is it to get and all that. A lot of people take all that and throw it in the garbage and are like, all that matters is the game. The price has nothing to do with it. Give me the hardest thing possible. What is the hardest
with these?
to get?
Right, with these, I'm showing on screen. Yes, you're getting perpetual calendars. You're getting special editions. You're getting open worked. I see that. You're getting ceramic. You're getting rose gold. Makes 100% total sense. With with a model that I pull up where it looks like a Zenith Defy. You know, with a, I mean, this is bullshit.
That purple dial, by the way, Rosé, Wrist Aficionado is going for $330,000. Some of them are going for $155,000 depending on dial color. The teal is $265,000. So yeah, like your purple, your teal are gonna go, your green are gonna go for way more. But yeah, $155,000 and up.
Yep, silly. These have complications. There's a chronograph. You have perpetual calendar. You have ceramic. You have all kinds of things that make sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the budget to play that game anyway.
Right.
And I have ones and dones from each one of these brands, and with AP, it's certainly not any of this crazy complicated shit. It's a Royal Oak in steel. A full rose gold would be nice. Full rose gold would be nice. I think Jeff's blue dial is the nicest Royal Oak I've tried on ever. But it's not my one and done from AP. A steel one is my one and done from AP. I don't know if you say the same thing for Patek. I don't think an Aquanaut from Patek is people's choice at a one and done from Patek. It doesn't work like that over there. That'd be like going into Rolex and saying my one and done is Oyster Flex Daytona. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know that I would say.
This thing's fucking bullshit.
I don't know. I don't know that I would say it. I would say most Nautilus are not my one and done. It would be there's very few. One like Brian's, that's got some complication on it. That could be a one and done. But I mean, that thing is, that's an expensive watch. It's a fucking
I think
house.
the closer you get to three-hander, I think the better off you are for a one and done. I wouldn't.
No, and I get that, yeah. Because it lends to, more wearability for sure. I agree with you there.
Fucking catfishing. Boston, I didn't know how hard you were going to make me press, but I went to like a 3.2 out of 10.
Yeah, I've been busy. I appreciate that.
No, you know how
So,
much of an asshole I can be.
no, see, okay. So a couple of caveats here. Number one, everybody lumps me into this AP crazy person and RM,
Oh, no.
but I wear a Patek as a daily. Like it's funny. Like it's so. I defend AP because I have done a lot of. I've done a lot of work to get to know the brand, so I know they're hard to know though. They're hard to get to know because they don't put out 50% of their information. Same thing with Patek. Unless you actually like talk with them, like there's nuance to all of these models that like you can't even read it on the website. Like you read one sentence and you're like, oh cool, it's thin. But it's like, no, their tourbillons are like 6 millimeter thick, It's like ultra thin tourbillons and stuff. And they're much harder and higher level than people like. They just see a tourbillon. Oh, it's a tourbillon, Oh, it's unnecessary. It's like, yeah, it is unnecessary, but like they do a high level tourbillon basically. But I agree on some of these models because I'm not a big fan of steel Royal Oaks in general because I think although I'm a fan of the jumbo because it's like the original, it's like the OG model and it's thin and it like shines nice, but I'm not a fan of the steel versions of the higher level watches because I just think that if you're gonna go higher level, why not go gold? Why not go platinum? Why not go ceramic? Why not go, titanium? Even titanium, some of the versions and some of the dial variations. Like this one to me is a little bit more like the burgundy is more of like a classic, but it's also a little more vanilla, in my opinion, than some of their other dials. So that's my 2 cents. So I agree. This is that would not be a watch that I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
Like a steel one. Like why? Why do it?
I think the Royal Oak is top 3 watch designs ever. I really do. I don't think that the product is complete. I think that this 41 will eventually become a 40 or a 39.5. I just see so many people that buy a 41, especially the three-hander, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And it's not always the size. It's just sometimes it's too loud or it doesn't fit right and it's hanging because they don't have the
wristband.
They don't have the adjustment right on the bracelet. I just see it done wrong. I think you could agree with that, Boston. Out of all the watches that are out there, AP people are the most prone to doing the watch wrong because it doesn't fit. The pros of it are it's the most incredibly finished steel bracelet ever. It pops like no other. It's ridiculous. Cons to that though, it's not the most comfortable. And I'm not talking about I'm not just talking about the fit. I'm talking about the actual bracelet on the inside. It's kind of sharp. I don't know that I'd want to walk around New York City in August with a steel Royal Oak all day. I feel like by the end of the day, that would be a painful day. And I know a lot of brands have this issue. I've never worn a Nautilus long enough to know if that's an issue for the Nautilus. But I know with Rolex, it's not so much of an issue. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think with the Royal Oak, you have to keep in mind, and Nautilus too, and Day Date, those, in my opinion, are three of the top bracelets
Ever.
right? And as far as the look, they just the way the light hits them, the way they feel is just different than other, things. And I think that's a big part of why those watches are popular, is that, and even some of the other Rolex models. Okay, like you there's other nice bracelets. I like the President the best out of all of them, but I think that the Jubilee is certainly up there. Super Jubilee, like you can go down the line. There's a bunch of Rolex makes great bracelets, but I think that that's a lot of the watch, and so you have to really be into bracelets, and that's why I'm not a fan of the leather strap on a Nautilus, and I'm not a fan of the Royal Oak having, like, I think the rubber,
A rubber bracelet?
on a regular one, like, it makes sense on the offshore,
Okay.
but like I just don't. I think that if they just stick it on, I mean, it fits a little better with the design of the Royal Oak. Like, I don't think it's awkward, but you know what's super awkward? The A-Long and Sona Odysseus feels just super awkward. It just feels awkward because, like, you could see the difference between that bracelet and the way it integrates, and the integration just isn't there to the same level, and it's just kind of an awkward fit for me. But yeah, I think with all these things, like, you have to kind of find. To me, it's like you either go big or you get like the standard Royal Oak. Like some of these weird, there's always going to be dogs. AP has dogs, Patek has dogs. Like, we all have ones that we don't personally connect with on top of that, which some other people might really like. But like, I think that personally, I would steer clear of steel outside of the three-hand or the chrono, because I just think what you're paying for isn't the right level watch. It doesn't all mesh. It's like, why would you just stick steel? Okay, a tourbillon for steel, it's 80,000, 85,000 more money. Like, yeah, you're getting the tourbillon, but like, you still have a steel watch. And like, but as far as the actual jumbo or the Nautilus, then it makes sense, because you're looking at like a 5980, and like my 5980 in steel is like an amazing watch. I don't think I get gypped because it's not white gold. Like, it's still the way it catches the light, everything like that. I don't know. So that's just how I look at them. I do look at them as different models. And if somebody has a regular three-hand Royal Oak and somebody has a tourbillon, they're like, oh, that's, you have to remember, like, you don't see these watches in the wild. The Royal Oak is rare. Like, in the United States, the number of Royal Oaks is so much less than like the number of Rolexes. Like, you total Royal Oaks might be similar to like Panda Daytonas or black and white steel Daytonas. That might be a similar number, just to put it in perspective.
Oh, I think there's way more steel Daytonas than Royal Oaks in the U.S.
Oh yeah, but
way
like,
more.
Okay, maybe depends on the years or whatever. Modern times, maybe they're similar production numbers. You know what I mean? So I think that the likelihood of you even seeing another Royal Oak is rare, unless you're in these high elite clubs where you're expecting this, and then a regular Royal Oak, like OC said, might just be like, oh, it's a Royal Oak. Like, cool, he's not wearing a Rolex or he's not wearing whatever, but like, most people don't care, most people don't care.
I think in the U.S. there's maybe 4. No, let's increase it. There's maybe 5 and 10 city areas with 50-mile square radius where you'll find Royal Oaks, right? And I've only seen them. I mean, I've seen them in Vegas, obviously, you see a shit ton in Florida, Miami specifically. You're not going to find it in Orlando, other than Brian. New York City has the most, I think. A steel Royal Oak on a Saturday afternoon in New York City is, I mean, very common. The Hamptons, obviously. I'm sure up in Boston, I haven't spent much time up there, but I'm sure if you hang around Newbury Street long enough, you'll see them. Aspen, right? And
I don't even think Boston has that many. Like like MJ and I know, like at this point we know most of the I'll say most of the known collectors, like people that are actually into watches, like we know most of them, and we know that they get like 75% of the watches. Like these are huge collectors and they're getting most of them. Like I don't think the Boston boutique gets nearly what New York AP and AP House get, as an example. Like they might get 10 steel Royal Oaks a year, 10 of each, type, three-hander and 10 chronographs, something like that, in that ballpark. And, half of them are going to people that are not from Boston. They might be from somewhere else, like they might be traveling through business, whatever. So I just, the chances of seeing one on the street is pretty low. If you're at like a high-end club or a country club or something like that, obviously that's where you're going to probably see it. But just numbers game, you're not going to see them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to find them by me.
No.
I'm probably in a town. If a 10 is the Hamptons, and a 1 is the South Bronx, I'm probably in a 6.3 town. You're not going to find a Royal Oak. I've never seen one, ever. Never. I don't think anyone even.
They're very
knows.
rare.
Yeah.
The market for wristwatches is very, very small. The number of people who wear watches is small. The number of people who wear an expensive watch is exponentially smaller than that. You can walk around for hours and hours and hours and not find anybody wearing a watch.
Right.
Right. This is what it's what our hobby is. Something that is very, very minuscule in the grand scope of the luxury market. Everyone wears clothes. Everyone wears shoes. Everyone wears, apparel, luxury bags. But luxury jewelry and luxury watches.
Jewelry, yeah.
Jewelry is far more popular than watches.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that's why they hand out some of these watches as like thank yous to the jewelry. They make way more money on jewelry. They're trying to reward their customers. Hey, this is an exclusive watch. Oh, okay, cool. It's like that person might not even want to watch. They're just, okay.
Quick shout out
It's
to
so cool.
Mr. G, member for 1 month. Thank you guys. If you're a member, if you have a star next to your name in the chat, please click on the dollar bill icon next to where you enter in your comments. See if you have a free member milestone chat available. Mr. G says, why steel Royal Oaks? While steel Royal Oaks trade around retail, why are steel Pateks still double retail? It doesn't make sense. Steel Pateks should drop more.
Because there's like no steel Pateks anymore. What's left? The 5726. What is it? 5980, 5990. One of them.
5712 and the 5990.
Okay. 3 models on a bracelet that you can buy from Patek, and only like 15 or 20% of their total watches are in the Aquanaut Nautilus family. Right?
Very small.
Very small. A subset of those are in steel.
And our men's, right? Like there's ladies too. So yeah, it's very small numbers. Like you're 7 to 10 times more Royal Oaks than are produced each year than Nautilus. and Aquanaut
So
combined. So
MJ says this: AP's finishing, case, and movement is less than VC, but more than Patek. My 2 cents. I don't know if that's true. It could be. I know that when it comes to me,
Mhm.
what do I know? When it comes to the bracelet and case,
Mhm.
I completely disagree. The Nautilus, especially when you go gold, when you go rose gold
Mhm.
and AP, they glow. I
Mhm.
mean, it doesn't matter what lighting you're in. It doesn't matter which situation. You could be in like a 2 out of 10 fucking brightness in a restaurant, and you're going to know what those watches are.
Mhm.
Vacheron overseas, you got to pull that thing off the wrist and walk up to me for me to even know you're wearing one. It does not pop. And Vacheron owners love that it doesn't pop. You have to know. I get it, but I don't know. I would argue that a precious metal oyster bracelet on a Rolex to the untrained eye is better finished than a Vacheron bracelet. And I know it's not true. Technically, I know it's not true, but the bracelet's not doing anything. It's dead on arrival. It's like a Seamaster bracelet.
Mhm.
I think you have to have some shine. I think you have to have some pop. And in that department, Vacheron sucks. Seriously, they suck. I mean, if you compare a full rose gold AP and you put it on the tray next to a full rose gold overseas,
Mhm.
the overseas is lacking big time.
Mhm.
Not the dial. Dial is fantastic. Better than the AP. The blue is better. The green is better. We know that. But watch to watch, put it on and walk 50 feet away in the sunlight. And then show me your 80 grand.
But a lot of that's the design of the
It's
the
better.
overseas
Better.
is a little bit more clunky design comparatively. I mean, we're comparing against the top bracelets ever made. Obviously it's. But I where I agree with MJ is that when you're looking at say the $40,000 or $50,000 range for both brands, like Vacheron is kind of like A. Lange and Söhne, where they'll put more effort into they put effort into every level of watch, and I think AP has a tendency on their base model. Let's just call it base model. Steel, Royal Oaks. Obviously the overseas, those kind of watches. They don't put as much time and effort into those just because of the price point. And then, but the higher level watches, like they put a ton of time into, and they have dedicated people that just work on those higher complication stuff that you'll never see, and are ridiculous prices. And that's part of just their philosophy of what they do. So, and some people say like, oh, that's garbage. They should. It's $35,000 steel watch. They should put more, effort into it. But I still think they're a good level. It's just you can't compare a $120,000 watch to a $40,000 watch and say that, the finishing should be exactly the same. I don't know. Personally, I don't expect that, but some people do. So that's one of ALS's claims to fame.
Real quick, I want to jump in and thank Brody for the member milestone chat. If Ed Hardy were still around, AP would do a collab with them. I was showing the website earlier. Yeah, interesting brand. And shout out to Muhammad Ali for the super chat. The 3 best laughs in our universe are Curly, Jen G, and Robert Wood. Wow, Jen G's established herself very early in the triumvirate of best laughs. Well done.
Yeah.
I guess. I do
Now
appreciate it.
It's now up to one of us to try and say something funny within the next 5 minutes so you can actually deliver. That'll be difficult.
Right.
Thank
Just
you,
get
Mohammed.
Mathis on here and have him say jabroni.
That's true.
Yo,
Oh, you
Miami
jabronis.
crew.
We haven't heard crew talk in a while.
I know, right?
I've been avoiding.
And
Well-
it's fine.
It feels good.
Yeah, by the way, if you are just joining us, we've been talking for the past 2 hours about the Patek Philippe Cubitus. We have all the details on the launch party. We have the invitation, and we've translated it. We have the location.
Mhm.
We have the date. We know the venue. We know the only thing we haven't seen is the actual watch itself, but it's coming up soon. The launch is on the 17th of October in Munich. And so we're talking about the Patek Philippe, what it means. We're talking about the Cubitus, what it means to the Patek Philippe brand. What do we know about the watch? And is this make or break for Patek Philippe? Your comments are welcome in the chat. Diego M is a member. Click on the $ next to the chat window to see if a free member milestone chat is available to you. Diego says, I like turtles. Thank you. Well done. Well, good use of your free super chat. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think it is a little bit make or break. Not make or break of will they be a thing, because Patek will always be a thing. But there's nothing in watches right now that anybody's talking about or is excited about that we're looking forward to in the next 6 to 12 months, except for this, right? It's this. And then in February, everyone's going to say, what is Rolex coming out with? Otherwise, these brands are releasing watches every other month.
I'm interested to see what AP does, because I've been told certain things, and I think there's going to be some big stuff released during the 150th this year. So
Yeah, but Royal Oaks that nobody can touch is not interesting.
no, that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think there's going to be some other stuff that I've been told. So
Yeah, but
I don't know. That
I don't
again, it's different. It's a different type of excitement, right? Obviously, like any of this stuff, it's like, ooh, Richard Mille came out with a brand new Nadal. That's exciting. It's like, yes, from like a technological standpoint and like amazing watch, but like nobody's going to buy it at 1.2 million that we're talking with, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like it's always that way with, but I think that with AP, what if AP comes out with a new model line for the 150th? Are people going to be like, oh, it's a complete disaster, they should just stick to the Royal Oak? Or are they going to be like, oh, cool, they're trying to expand their line and they added the code like 6 or 7 years ago and now they're coming out with another line? Would that be a plus for people? I don't know.
If it's good, it's always if it's good or if it's bad.
If it's good, right? But good is subjective. Anything new, like people, it's funny. People like old with a variation more than new. Not like 99% of the time, all we want Rolex to do is come out with the Coke, And it's like, oh, they came out with the Coke. If they didn't come out with the Coke, I'm so disappointed. It's like, don't you want them to, like, they came out with the 1908. Was everybody excited about that?
They came out with the Coke. It was just a Tudor.
Yeah.
They pulled the switcheroo on us.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Patek,
I really take offense. I take offense when people say they and they lump Rolex and Tudor together like that. Like one of them even talks to the other one. Come on, guy. I mean, they might at the most macro level when it talks about. I don't even think they talk to each other when they're investing in building new factories. I think they're completely independent. So
right.
Yeah, no one ever sold their Rolexes to buy Tudors. Never happened.
Thank you, Buckley.
It's never happened. It doesn't mean Tudor's bad. It's just it's never happened. So, but yeah, I mean, look, Patek coming out with a new line from scratch.
It's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal.
And a sports, right? Like that's where, to me, that's the big deal. Is like, oh, another version of a dress watch. Okay.
And the other reason too is this could be make or break because we know that March for them is going to be pretty dull. March, April, they're not going to be coming out with anything really interesting. This is it.
Mhm.
You know, Rolex does their once a year, sometimes twice, as we've seen in the last couple of years. They've done it 2. But we all know, like, Rolex is doing nothing other than maybe readjusting some lines that people don't like the sizing and changing around some colors and metals.
Mhm.
But that's all we expect. That's all we want.
Yeah, that's all we expect. Yeah.
Like, Evan G is trying to get the America, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
But if they release a white gold with a purple dial, Evan G is going to sell his America to get that.
Mhm.
That's Rolex world.
Mhm.
This is pretty insane. Well, what they're doing here, sports watch, is, I mean, there is no Patek Philippe sports watch. I'm going to die on that hill. But
Yeah, I mean, Rolex came out with. I mean, they're always revamping and re-engineering and
Mhm.
renewing their collections. I mean, I consider in a way the 1908 kind of a revamping of the Cellini line. It's just a slightly different version, rebranding of the dress watch. Their last launch of a new collection was the Sky Dweller, maybe in 2012. The Sky Dweller. So it takes a long time and it's very risky to come out with a new watch. I don't love the Sky Dweller. You have the blue one, which is beautiful.
Mhm.
Boston, Buckley, you've
Mhm.
had the two-tone, which is also phenomenal on you. But I don't know. I
No.
think the reviews. What do you say?
you don't like it. You don't like it.
I don't like it. So in my eyes, like that was a failed launch of a new model. So that shows you how it was launched in the era of the Datejust 2, and it
Mhm.
still, for the most part, has those proportions. And Patek Philippe has taken many, many years to design design this new watch. Like I've said for the past couple months now, I think we're going to look at it, or we should look at it, and within a split second know whether or not we like it or not. And of course, over time, we'll warm up to it because it's Patek Philippe and because it's desirable and hard to get. But I think deep down, we'll know. Our gut will tell us. Our eyes will not lie whether or not they hit a home run or if they didn't.
Mhm.
I don't know if it'll. I don't know if. I think it really has to be a home run, because I don't know if it matters how hard it is to get, because there's a lot of things that are really hard to get,
Mhm.
right? That have become really hard to get, that you can put your money and your years, right? So, and it's all, most of it, not most of it, but a lot of it is already coming from Patek. So it's like, are people going to give up their allocation for a Nautilus or an Aquanaut for this? Because it's a watch once every
Yeah.
2 years, 3 years, maybe, for some people, right? So it's got to be that good. Are people going to get off of lists to come and get on this list, right?
Mhm.
If they
Yeah,
don't,
I'm in a really weird situation with this, because I would love an Aquanaut. However, like, if I get offered one of these, if say it's a rubber strap gold or rubber strap and steel watch, and it's similar to an Aquanaut, okay, do you take that and then they'll string you along for an Aquanaut? Like what's the play? Because the Aquanaut's been around for much longer. It's almost like the Yachtmaster, right? Like, do you really want to jump on the Yachtmaster when you might like get a titanium Yachtmaster right now versus a steel Daytona? Like, I don't think many people should be doing that move if you're in line, like, to give up that for that, even though it's a great watch, right? I'm not saying like it's not going to be a great watch, but also, like, I'm getting to a point where I have a lot of sports watches that have rubber straps and have other things, and I've got an RM, I've got an AP, and do I want 4 watches with rubber straps? Like, it's getting there. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. If, like, they offer it to me and I'm like, I have to really love it, I think, at this point. And I don't know. I don't know that people are going to jump ship at the Aquanaut or necessarily.
The politics are going to be absolutely fascinating, Boston. They really are, to see what people who are loyal Patek Philippe collectors who have been on the request list for certain pieces, what they do. Do they switch? Do they, as soon as this thing comes out, do they say, hey, I really like this? So it'll be the free for all of what happens, I think, is half as much fun as actually seeing the watch.
Yeah.
And how are they going to
Shout out to
right? How
how are
gonna work
how are the
out?
ADs going to
Like,
react? Yeah.
right? Are they going to say, "Oh, or we're offering this to you," and then you're like, "Thank you. I'll just stay on the list for the Aquanaut. I love I like this watch." But they might be like, "Wait a second, like I thought you were into Patek. Like this is our new model. Aren't you going to jump on board and support us with this new model?" Like it could be a slap in the face, honestly. Like if you get offered this and you turn it down, like I don't know. Like
Well,
it's
that you would, but based on that, you're assuming that the Aquanaut
You're not
remains
gonna
more
like it.
desirable,
right.
and that you, by turning it down, you're saying, no, I think the Aquanaut is a better, more coveted watch.
Yeah. Well, you already know what the market is for it, right?
Right. Shout out to Double Crown, who is a senior consultant. He's a campaign senior consultant level member, which is a higher level than the volunteer level. So I want to give him a huge shout out. Hello, gentlemen. Cheers. Thank you, Double Crown, for being a member. Everyone who has a star next to their name is a member. If you have a star next to your name, click on the $ next to where you enter a comment. You may have a free member milestone chat waiting for you. Make sure you use it before you lose it. And if you don't have a star next to your name, I'm going to drop the link to become a member. Just click on this link right here and become a member. Memberships as low as $4.99 a month, which is unbelievable considering the incredible quality of entertainment you get on this channel. So what do you think of, Boston, your interpretation of the literal translation of the invitation, where Terry Stern says, I wanted a watch with the sporty, fresh spirit of a convertible? How do you interpret that as being automotive related, or you just interpret it more broadly, that he wanted his team to design a watch that gave people the spirit of sportiness and freedom and the great outdoors and the flexibility? Do you interpret that literally, or what do you make of this?
I think my opinion is that what he wants is he wants a watch that can be worn to the beach. Like he wants a summer watch. He wants a watch that can appeal to young people. Like what AP had in that commercial with everybody having fun on the beach, that's what he wants this watch to be.
Wow.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
So I think what it is you can quick change straps and change the colors and have fun with it. Like that's as fun as they're going to get. That's my opinion. Right. To them, that's fun. Like right now, you can't change your Aquanaut. It doesn't have an easy link adjustment to it. Right. There's no, it's hard to wear that watch all summer long and, hanging out by the pool. And I think that this is the attempt to make that lower level watch for people that they can just bang around. They can go on vacation. They can change the straps and have fun with it. That's my thought.
Do you think it'll have a deployant on it? Because their rubber straps right now are cut one and done,
That's what I think I think that's what it is. I think this is going to have a deployant. I think it'll have an easy link or 5mm adjust, because remember they just added it to the Nautilus bracelets.
Right? Oh, okay.
So I think that it makes sense to add both of those features And that's, to me, that's going to be the bigger deal. I think it'll kind of look like an Aquanaut.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that crazy. It might be a more square-ish case to it, but I'm thinking of a more square case, but the dial is going to be similar to what you showed there, OC, the green dial that and then you can change the straps around, and there's going to be different colors, and they're gonna maybe even they give you 2 straps, maybe they give you 3 straps like that.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah,
That'd be
fancy.
generous of them.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking that the contingent that they're trying to hit is this like everyman, how they don't have anything that really falls into that, like like an OP or a date just or something like that, where it's just an everyday watch. AP kind of has that, but Patek definitely does not. I think they tried with the Aquanaut, and it just didn't hit that grouping that they were hoping it would hit, where it would lead from Aquanaut into Nautilus. You can see the step up, and it just didn't hit low enough to where it caught the general public, to pull them in and move them up the Patek hierarchy,
Super chat from Logan Hall, member for 1 month. Thank you very much, Logan. He says, tune in this Saturday for the Trump grilling stream special. The fried dog and cat. They're cooking and eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. They're eating our pets. Actually, I'll be doing a stream on how to cook thin steaks. Check it out. It's Logan Hall Grill Streams on YouTube. You should be already subscribed. Logan, you can drop the link to your own channel in the chat. It's Logan Hall, home of Logan Hall Grill Streams. Check it out. It's pretty fun. Good show.
Yep.
Very good channel. We will not be doing fried dog and cat.
No dogs, unless they're
No
hot
dog.
dogs.
Hot dogs. No dogs. They're eating the pets.
Jabronis are eating the pits.
Jeez, over 70 people watching this incredibly informative, educational, and entertaining program today. Guys, upvote the live stream. We have over 50 likes, which is phenomenal. We've been going for 2.5 hours. What do you say, guys? Should we go to the after show, or should we keep going?
Let's bounce.
Let's bounce. Guys, we'll do this. We're going to bounce unless we get a super chat in the next 90 seconds. It can be any size super chat, upgraded membership, or super sticker will extend the show for 2 minutes. Or if you want to get dinner like Buckley did, Buckley jumped off to get dinner. We all want to eat. But if you want us to keep going, a small sign of appreciation. Diego, please stop dropping the grinder stuff.
Oh my God.
Jesus. No more grinder.com. Diego, please. Although we have 3 watchers on Grinder right now. So 73 on YouTube, 3 on Grinder, and 3 on Tinder.
What about TikTok and Snapchat?
I don't see anybody on.
Okay.
I see 1 on Snapchat and 1 on MySpace. Shit.
On MySpaces. Shit.
Yep. Shit, we got to keep going, unfortunately. Dear Artifact, super chat. There, boom. We're going to continue for 5 minutes.
Well, it's Canadian. That's like 3 minutes.
Okay, we'll do 3 minutes. Dear Artifact, thank you. Dear Artifact, by the way, I'm going to message you off the stream. I just want to make sure that thing's still happening on the 27th/28th. I want to follow up because we do want to put together a small posse to actually to meet up with that person. And Muhammad Ali, Team Boston, go Bruins. Okay, well, we'll take that.
Nice.
It's a £5 super chat.
See that
Muhammad
made
Ali
up for the Canadian one.
Yes,
Like
he
$7,
offset the Canadian one with an actual real super chat. Muhammad Ali, I met in person in London. It's an absolute privilege and honor to be in the presence of Muhammad Ali. And I want to thank him for doing the unboxing the other day. He jumped on and did the unboxing of the Oyster Perpetual 36
Excellent.
with the green dial. Great watch. You can't
Beautiful.
can't deny that. Boston, your thoughts on that?
I think it's a great. Was his the 36 or the 4?
36.
Okay, yeah, I've had that watch and it's amazing.
Yeah, this
So
year has
that's
been
my thoughts.
phenomenal for Muhammad Ali. He's gotten the Vacheron Overseas. He's gotten
Mhm.
after the 3-year wait, he got the Pepsi on Oyster, then bought a Jubilee bracelet and then
Mhm.
put that on, and then got the Oyster Perpetual with the green dial. He's not fucking done. And he had his 50th
No.
birthday. All of that in 1 year. And he's
Yeah.
still not done. He's still greedy as fuck. He still wants more from his 80s.
That's the Royal Oak, right? That's
He
last on his list.
wants everything. Got comedic legend Daniel Katz in the chat. What's up, Daniel? A meatball grinder. I saw an Instagram post today. It was like, or it was a video on YouTube, one of those shorts. It said like top 5 places in New York to get pastrami sandwich. And Katz Deli was number 1. There you go.
Congratulations to Daniel Katz.
Can I give you a hot take on that? I wasn't impressed with Cat's Deli at all.
Fuck Katz Deli. Okay. Jen G with a hot take.
Yikes.
Screw
Poor
Katz
Daniel.
Deli. Hey, we can go with
Daniel Katz.
Second Avenue Deli. Second Avenue Deli. I hate when they say, "Oh, well, the pastrami sandwich was nice because it included a lot of fat." Like, I want my pastrami sandwich to be lean but still juicy. You know,
Right.
I don't want 40% fat. So you're like,
No,
Right.
you know, biting into chewy
I agree.
fucking fat. No. It's like it
No.
can be juicy and
You want it
tender
rendered.
and
You want
moist.
it rendered,
Yeah.
the fat rendered.
Yeah, rendered, exactly rendered, but I still want the lean, and I don't want to pay $27 for normal and $35 for lean. Fuck
That
you! I
seems
want lean.
out
I
of
want it
control.
naturally lean.
Yeah.
Right, John
Banned
B.
from Cat's Deli. That's okay, John. I used to live basically around the corner from Cat's Deli, and I only went once. Never went back again.
There you go. But
Sorry.
wow, look at this, Mr. Tudor to you, a yellow super chat. That is, you gotta hand it to Mr. Tudor to you. He comes through for the community. All this AP Patek blah 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 bores me. No, I'm assuming he means cubixing or unboxing. But no unboxing, but show the group my latest Tudor. Pull up the pic OC. Okay, where is the pic? Is the pic on WhatsApp?
Mr.
Or-
Tudor
for
is
me.
out of control. He's out of control. He's got too
Yeah,
many
where
tutors. Way too many tutors.
did you? Is it on
When-
Instagram?
It must be Instagram.
Starlight Diner, John D. I went to TikTok too, and I wasn't impressed. We actually left TikTok because the service was so bad.
What's
yeah,
the
I'm just
maximum
gonna
number
crush
of
everything
tutors?
sacred.
What's the maximum number of tutors that somebody should own? 12?
Zero. But if you're a fan of Tudor, I would say 2 max.
Depends on how
One
often
for
you
each
chop
wrist.
wood, right?
One for each wrist.
Yeah.
You know, right now I think there's only 2 that I would want anyway. Well, 3. Either a Panda Chrono or the Pink Chrono and or the new Coke. I wouldn't mind having that. Those would be the 3 that I would go for if I had a choice.
I am going to show and congratulate Mr. Tudor to you on his most recent pickup. He did send me an image earlier today, I believe. So let me pull it up, which means I'm going to get rid of this. Boom. And I'm going to, without doxing him, reveal it's not an unboxing, but it is a unveiling
Mhm.
a reveal. And congratulations to Mr. Tutor to you.
Oh,
He got the
nice.
blue, the
Nice.
blue chronograph with the blue aluminum bezel and the 5-link bracelet. Don't call it the Jubilee. It's a 5-link Tudor bracelet. But he got it, and congratulations are definitely in order.
The
Is there a
boutique
nickname for this
only.
watch? Do we have a nickname?
Is there a
No.
nickname?
I don't think so.
I don't think. Nope.
I think it should be
Well-
called the Blue Jay.
Wow, this one looks very purple, doesn't it? Is it just me?
Yeah.
It's very shine. It's got a lot of shine.
Mr. Tutor to you, congratulations, guys! Please drop a
Yeah.
note to Mr. Tutor to you in the chat. What you can do is you can reply to his super chat. If you're on the mobile device, you can actually tap on reply, and you can send a reply directly to Mr. Tutor to you, and hit the thumbs up on his super chat on the mobile device, guys.
Did he get he didn't get the pink one though, right? He just got this. He has the panda.
Mr. Tutor to you has 14 tutors. I'm not Jen. I'm not lying. I'm
Oh
not
no,
kidding.
I know. I know he loves
Yeah.
his tutors.
He has.
Yeah, he
he has.
has-
I know he has the panda one, right?
Yes, he has a
He
bunch of
doesn't have the
tutors,
pink
including.
one, though, right? He didn't get the pink one, did he?
I don't think he has the pink,
No.
but yeah, he has a couple of vintage pieces that I actually really.
16, he said.
Oh, 16.
Like me did.
Hot day.
I gotta say that for Mr. Tudor to you to put up with the friendly ribbing that we give Tudor on this channel and the Watch Community channel, you know, he is a real sport, and he is an amazing contributor to the community. And
Yep.
thank you for taking it and being such a good sport, because we really do really do like you. Mr. Tudor to you is a fixture in the Nashville community along with Logan Hall, and it would be my honor to meet him one day. And he's a really good sport. And so congratulations are in order again. Very much appreciate the super chat. Thank you for all you do to support Boston and me and Diego and America and Mathis and everybody, Buckley, everybody who contributes to these streams. Thank you for your strong support. Does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. Logan, who's a friend of Mr. Tudor's in Nashville, says, I think after 10 tutors, it's considered a mental disorder. I'm not saying that. I wouldn't say that. But hey, this is your good friend Logan saying that. So there's some mental health facilities in Greater Nashville. Please check them out.
Yep.
And I want to give a
most
new
people in
shout
Nash
out.
Vegas have not been accused of being sane. I lived there for a long time. I know the craziness that goes on.
Chavez is in the chat. Chavez just became a member of the original OC channel. Thank you, Chavez. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I've seen you in the chat before, and I really appreciate your show of appreciation to those who are volunteering their time. Me, Buckley, Genji, and others. Brian the Pipe, who volunteer their time to create an entertaining, informative, and rarely educational broadcast for you. We have over 70 people watching. Guys, let's get to 60 upvotes. I think we can do it. If you have not yet upvoted, mobile device, click on the thumbs up button, tap on it, click on it, do whatever it takes to show your liking the stream. Let's get to 70 likes. And we're going to go, because of all these, because of your membership and because of Mr. Tudor Hughes' super chat, we'll go for another, we're going to go for another 5 minutes. So you've baited us into continuing for another 5 minutes. And then after that, we're done, guys. We are done. We're going to go have dinner.
Yeah.
It's, we're going to have dinner. Oh, no, another one. Vimal Nair, member for 1 month. Thank you so much. Question for the chat. Do you have more than 5 tutors? Then you may have tutoritis, and ask your doctor if Rolex is right for you. I'll get in trouble if I comment on that. So let's just say, Vimal, thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate it. If you're a member, quickly tap on the $ next to the chat, next to the comment window. You may have a free member milestone chat available. So be sure to use it. You don't want it to go unused. You don't want it to be wasted. So you can enter in something ridiculous or something insightful. Your call. But thank you everybody for being a member. Really, really appreciate it. I will be announcing soon. By the way, I'm going to be donating to the Thanatophoric Dysplasia cause, Diego M's cause. I think it's a donation of $525 for all of the August memberships. So thank you guys. I'll be I'm going to consult with Diego first. I'm just going to do that. And by the way, Logan, if you're in the chat, did you check with your team at We Stutter? He and I communicated. Are you matching that or are you not matching it? Because I made a donation in everybody. I just don't want to reveal it if you don't want to reveal it. If you want to reveal it at on your timetable, just cool. Logan, tell us what was the final result? Do you have a final tally? Do you want to announce that or do you want to wait? We made a donation to the National Stuttering Association, known as westutter.org. I'll let Logan make the announcement, but it was not unsubstantial. It was not insignificant. Hey, member 572 America 5726 member for 1 month at a senior consultant level. Thank you, America. I want to thank America actually for providing the platform that we use to broadcast to you. He is the very generous benefactor behind the scenes that allows us to be on the StreamYard platform, which is the live streaming software that we use to broadcast to you. I glom onto his account, so that means the $500 a month that he pays for StreamYard access, I get to use it for free. So thank you very much. Petition to boot any non-Holy Trinity owners from the panel. That's Jen G. Jen G, do you own AP, Patek Philippe, or
No, not even
Vacheron
close.
Constantin?
No. I mean, you can kick me if you want. That's fine.
I don't want to, but again,
America's the man.
America's the man. We'll be leaving it. We'll be leaving in 3 minutes anyway. Logan Hall says $1,250 is the final tally. Thanks everyone for your generosity. That's right. We donated $1,250 to westutter.org. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Yep. And Logan can confirm because he saw the actual receipts. And he knows the national director there, and she acknowledged receipt. Just in case you guys think that we're operating fraudulent money laundering operation here, and we're actually pocketing the dough that's received from all you guys. All of that is true, but we're doing it in a way where it makes you guys feel at least good that your donations are going to charity. So we're trying to provide value for us and for you at the same time. Guys, we're going to do we have one more minute left. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Last chance to super chat. A super chat will extend the show for 2 minutes and 2 minutes only. Congratulations to Mr. Tudor to you. This is a good looking watch. See how polite I'm being? I love Tudor, and I love the collectors who love Tudor. Delivering value for money, Mr. Tudor to you.
I would like to see this color in person. So I don't think that it's
you don't trust
easily...
you don't trust this photo?
No, I think the color is hard to capture.
Mr. Tudor to you, tell us, is the color beautiful? Is the color exceptional? Just let us know in the chat. Guys, we're gonna call it. Thank you so much for watching. Upvote on the way out. We got to 60 upvotes, so I want to thank you for that. That's exactly what we wanted. Thank you to Boston Collector, Buckley, Jen G, SE, everybody who jumped on the panel. Thank you guys for your comments and your super chats and your member milestone chats, and those of you who became members. I want to quickly thank everyone. I want to thank MJ for the $10 super chat. I want to thank Mr. Bob's Nightmare for his super chat. I want to thank Sean from LA for becoming a member. I want to thank Muhammad Ali for his super chat. Thank you so much, man. Mr. Tutor 2 for the yellow super chat, $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. I want to thank Chavez for becoming a member. Guys, upvote the live stream on your way out. Thank you for everything and have an amazing afternoon. Peace out, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Peace out. We love you. Take care. Have a great night.